gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ tá a jọ ń káàkiri ọ̀dọ́jọ́ ni wá ẹ má jẹ́ kí a fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú jòyè mọ́ nígbà tá a la fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa táwa ń kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba tá à ń bú jòyè èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí bọ́ mo pera mi padà ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́ ẹ má bolóṣèlú kankan ẹ̀rù kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọba ò lè sọ ìjòyè lè sọ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú ẹ má jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá jà mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àṣẹ wọn àwọn ará pẹ̀lú wọn àwọn àtọ́ bá jó lóṣèlú tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ á gbé wọn mọ́ra á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni à ní bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àṣejẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ má jẹ́ àdàlúrú a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dàlúrú gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo jó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bà nǹkan jẹ́ mo lọ písù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ò bá sólówó lára ń dì mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fún yẹn lọ́lọ́run fún mi mi ṣe tálákà tó dé pé mo dìde fún jà Yorùbá big man ni mi àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ mi tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀ pé sọ́wọ́ lè mi mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́ mo ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ owó àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ kí n wọ gbowó kí n gbéra kí n pé mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba àgbowó mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀ kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n mọ́ rìn bọ̀ kí Fúlàní mọ́ dá mi dúró títì kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ́ gbé lọ àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko mọ́ wọn ò lè lódò ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn ká dá security ti wa lẹ̀ ká sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ Jésù Olúwa wa.
KOIKIMEDIA, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
KOIKIMEDIA, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
KOIKIMEDIA, KOIKIMEDIA, we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Àwa sálára àgbà yìí dá, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gangan ni bàbá.
KOIKIMEDIA, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
They never sabi wetin we carry for her.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
I said they never know wetin we carry for body.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, kìnìún ló ló lajú.
Ẹyẹ tó dorí kodò bí àdán ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu.
Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa, ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè tó dúdú àga.
Odùduwà kò bá lè gbé wá.
Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣe gírí. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀, ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí. Ká wálé gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé, ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni mọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri.
Pé ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá.
KOIKIMEDIA, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ̀ ní.
Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wá kájé bùgbà yín jẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ̀ ní.
À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ̀ ní.
News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ̀ ní.
Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. KOIKIMEDIA, ọlọ́lá gbajúmọ̀ mi o, máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ o. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi, ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé, ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ kájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀, àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní ẹbọra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó kóyìnbó tó dé, ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, òun náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o Koiki Media ṣàwa ní bàbá. Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrègèdè.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àwa là ń gbé tò lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àtúnjà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ọmọ Òdùwà ni wá o tọkàntọkàn.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
We bring you up closer to your doorstep.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ o tó ń kan kí oko lára ni.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́ àwa ní bàbá o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹ gbé polówó ọjà yín wá o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Òdúdú alágbèdá ní òtítọ́ lágbèdá ní.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sódìkẹta.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdúró tán, a tún pèrègèdè.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media we bring you up closer to your doorstep.
Àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media is around.
To give us latest.
Ah, is around o.
Give us latest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó kojú gbogbo.
ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó kojú gbogbo.
Koiki Media is around.
To give us latest.
Wow, it is 1 year tí Tinubu ti wà ní office. Exactly 29th of May 2024. A year ago, President Tinubu took the affairs from the evil monster Buhari to drive the failed Nigeria. We had a lot of version of Buhari, but I always say dead or alive, it doesn't make any difference. But what is now is that we now have someone that many Yoruba people are hoping that their future and their lives will make a big impact. Tinubu gbàjọba ní 29th of May 2023 with so much excitement and so much joy and fulfillment. And literally a year after, it has been roller coaster. Many Yoruba people are still very much hopeful that ayé wọn máa better by the time tí Tinubu máa fi parí government in the next 3 years. He doesn't have any guarantee for 8 years. All he has is just the first 1 year. Mo kí gbogbo yín pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ti tàárọ̀ yìí. Mo rí èèyàn kan tán ní àwọn ṣì ń wo tí a ṣe ní àárọ̀ àná. That is why it is called a 24 hours broadcast that can come up at any time. All you need to do is just follow the platform on all the platforms. Moki Peter Pan, a subscriber, and many of you that have joined us at these early hours of the morning. I think the Malam Faniati Tunde. Moki Babawa, the leader and the very powerful leader that follows the vision of the late Jeremiah Awolowo. And we're talking about Professor ADEBANJI AKINTOYE. I work for him, and the duty and the task he has given me is to make sure pé a sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, regardless of your faith in Nigeria, that the country Nigeria that you want to rely your hope on has failed everyone. And that is why Baba Akintoye gave us this to work with. It is a very powerful document, or should we say like a manifesto, that is important to tell you, gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, both home and in the diaspora, that the Yoruba people, the Romo Alade, we are far better off to have our own independent country away from the contraction and the shithole that the British forced on every one of the indigenous people, because we are not tribes. Morawari, Moibori, Mausari, Eledumari dá gbogbo èèyàn differently until the British, after a very slave trade on the continent called Africa, decided to also force a fraudulent amalgamation on all the indigenous people. And tá bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Baba Akintoye, he is the only one who handedly says that this union must now come to an end so that our future will be brighter, because you will never have a bright future in that crazy contraction that British amalgamated through the monster Lugard and the girlfriend Laura Shaw. And this is why we are doing what we are doing at the early hours of this morning. Kò ń ṣe pé oorun ò pè mí náà. But Baba Akintoye ní, for us to achieve this without violence, ẹ máa dìde lóru bẹ́ni tó ń lọ ṣe exam. Ẹ máa dìde ní gbogbo wákàtí tí ẹ bá ní láti fi create ọ̀rọ̀ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, both at home and in the diaspora, to give them a concrete reasons, because many people do not believe, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ believe, why we should leave this contraction tí àwọn méjèèjì tí wọ́n create, both Lugard and the girlfriend Laura Shaw, through the British, because British ni wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ fún, bí èmi náà ṣe ṣiṣẹ́ fún Baba Akintoye. And we must work hard láti lè achieve aims and objectives, because our fẹ́ ìtàjẹ̀ sílẹ̀. But one thing is, we were going to make sure that the faith that you have in Nigeria would decline, because Nigeria itself have failed every single indigenous people, regardless of whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, or the rest of the ethnic indigenous people. And again, we are not tribes. Moki sister mi, Ifa Beneleke, Wasiu, Waris Chinadu, my brother, Idowolabi, Mr. Dileye, Taiwo, Olapade Adeniyi, good morning. Ogundare Kunle was the first person to say good morning. And shout out to many of you on all the other platforms. Moki, brother mi Fadipe Ibeku Moses. Abadaruko yin is just to let you know that Anri yin, and we love you, we appreciate you. Moki eni gbogbo ìlú Ifọ̀, Ọlánípẹ̀kun, wealthy plenty, Ọbẹ̀lẹ́dùmarè abambe dúró, àwa pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. In Ifọ̀ local government, àwọn ni wọ́n kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ door to door campaign awareness of the Yoruba nation, and we expect everybody not to be tired. Iṣẹ́ tèmi ṣe ó máa yàtọ̀ sí iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n fi ṣe. Muriembe Ayomikun Damiju, we are on a full broadcast, and when I say full broadcast, you know what that means. I am using a full broadcast where I can tell you we are streaming on 2 Instagram, 5 or thereabout 6 Facebook account, 2 YouTube channel, KOIKIMEDIA and the WD76, the backup. We are live on the MixLR. We are also live on the Twitter space. We are live on Twitter. That means it's a full broadcast because today is the 29th, which is 1 year office of the failed government of Tinubu. Ganiolo Yede, good morning. Money mini last man standing. Ayodele Owolade, good morning. Tebatin soon. Enyamafi notification G, because this is not the time to be having 8-hour sleep. Lenkonsi Moki Atobi Milomo, Moki and family. This is the time to stand firm and demand our rights with a non-violent movement that we have embarked. Lugard worked for the British to create Nigeria, but Nigeria was already in the process before Lugard came to power. And AKINTOYE has now told us to go out there and give you all the reasons why these fraudulent 419 expired amalgamation must come to an end. Whether you are in belief that Nigeria will not break up, it will, because the writings are already all over the shithole country. You will not have a country that will not kill you due to the influx of the jihadis, terrorists, Boko Haram, ISIS, and all the mujahideen that has been now forced into your territory. If you remain as Nigeria, the northerners will not allow you to stop migration, as the UK is now stopping the migration of many criminals and pedophiles that are coming into this country. Moki Babami soon will do. A very good man that looks after us and as many of you. I always say, and I'm never shy to say it, if you want a good journalism, if you want an independent media to work hard for you, to speak on your behalf, not the fraudulent British biased corporation known as the BBC, or all these crazy media in Nigeria that will continue to tell you that self-determination is a crime, like Abati, where our father hit him hard. You will support media. It is not compulsory. It is just that it is worth it to put your money where you can say that ìjọ tí Koiki náà bá ti deviate, I will stop investing in that media. Gbogbo wa là ń invest nínú kankan. I am creating my time. I don't have a problem with that. I have the strength. I eat. I make sure I go to bed early so that when I know I'm waking up, I am waking up like somebody that wants to go and resume a job like you. I am an independent, and it will remain so. So we hope that many of you would continue to make sure that this platform has money to operate. This platform has money to challenge those that are saying that Yoruba cannot become an independent country, that this platform will serve you towards all the way through. The platform we will stand firm with the self-determination all the way through. Don't ask me when. I listened to at least 2 different prophecies yesterday. Whether you believe in prophecy or not is not the issue. But the indices, the indication that Nigeria will collapse is already in our faces. But you can live in denial and say it is not going to happen. It is coming. Don't be deceived. Yoruba is a country. But we will work hard that Spain, Norway, France would also recognize us, as at today, Palestinian has now officially been recognized by these 3 powerful European countries. So support this media financially. There is a lot that is in the brain, just like BBC non program Tico make sense, but we are paying for the TV license and you cannot control it. But you can still control this one by saying, Koiki, yes, part of the money will be used to fund this media. I am not one of your bloggers. I am not a vlog. I pay tax with this company in the UK. It has been registered more far before we started Yoruba Nation. But without funding, there is a limit to what I can do. But if I have the fund, be rest assured that KOIKIMEDIA through their radio network in Kano, in Hausa, the technology is there. But without the funding, we cannot do it. And I say again, don't hesitate to continue to support us. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá ń support Ọba Elédùmarè kò ní jẹ́ kó tán, kò ní gbẹ níbẹ̀, because you are not just supporting this platform, you are also supporting millions of our people that have been kept in abject poverty deliberately by these APC crazy government. It is not just Tinubu that created the problem. The problem started from the fraudulent amalgamation that the British forced on us. And we will reverse it in Jesus' name. We will reverse it. Lágbára tí àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwọn Orúmọlẹ́wà. We will reverse it, inshallah, because we are not part of this crazy amalgamation deliberation. We are now a generation that is asking the British Parliament, the British government, the king and the royal family to review this amalgamation so that peace will go back into all our territories, so that we can have a better future against the one that we are presently encountering. So we will continue again on the topic that we've started on Monday, and this topic goes all the way to Sunday. Every week I have many of these documents to treat. It is going to last as much as it can. Like I said, this platform remains focused without any deviation. It is the good news path to prosperity in our ORILEEDE Yoruba. With this topic, we will take all different analysis. We will take your calls. We will review it on different stand. Last week, we started with we are a nation with a proud root and a proud history. Today, we are treating in independent Nigeria, we have suffered serious decline and agony. We have 35 of these different content. Tí Baba Akintoye tí ó ṣe wàhálà, tó jókòó, tó draft, tó ní ká máa fi ṣe oríṣiríṣi analysis fún yín. I have been told as much as possible not to curse you, because many of you are probably just naive or probably scared. That is the reason why you come on this platform and try to attack it. But I will come for you if you come for me, because I am not the one that created this crazy, romantic country called Nigeria. The British created it through this fraudulent amalgamation My job is to remind you that whatever your take is, even Tinubu himself, with evidence, kò dẹ̀ lè jáde kó wá fi ògùn búra pé òun ever sọ pé I don't believe in one Nigeria. But today, he's taking the affairs of a country that has failed. It doesn't matter how many of these young man, old man in their bow tie telling you that Nigeria can be restructured. We don't want a restructured Nigeria. There is no super chat on the KOIKIMEDIA Baba Misunudu. I've always said it that Lai Mohammed wanted the YouTube to take down KOIKIMEDIA completely. But Awala Jakara Lai Mohammed, because Lai Mohammed is gone, he thought he could damage this platform. But we fight it behind the scene. And that means the reason why you are still seeing KOIKIMEDIA on YouTube is because I don't live in Nigeria and Lai Mohammed failed. But if you want to support us with the super chat and all that, that is the reason why we have the backup channel, because we are streaming on 2 YouTube channels. So you can always do that. But with the KOIKIMEDIA, my monetization was removed. But that is not the issue. I can tell you that my numbers keep growing. The viewership is not reducing. And we are doing very well on all our platforms. The statistics shows it itself. And I'll be telling you that statistics before the end of the month, which I receive on a monthly basis. APC, this is a platform that looks into your comments. We'll talk about it. So keep the comment flowing. And like I always say, we also open the phone line at some point so that you can also engage with us. I will be reviewing again Ibitatimbo, Ibitanlo. Let's start with the APC that many Yoruba people were so super excited that Tinubu is going to give them joy and peace. It is coming brighter from London at 5 a.m. Iletimo Bigati Atiwani 7 a.m. We are running the same time with Nigeria, or we can say running the same time with Yoruba land. Yoruba is not yet a country, but we are pushing to make sure that the country will pull out of this messed up that UK forced on us. Aki gbogbo àwọn ọba wa pé wọ́n kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun, wọ́n ọ̀dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó sún wọn, wọ́n ọ̀dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ wọ́n, wọ́n kí wọn pé wọ́n kú akíkanjú tí wọ́n fi ń ṣe gbogbo tí àwa náà lè máa fi sọ pé inú wa ti ń dùn bá ṣe ń rí àwọn ọba wa tí wọ́n ń dá sí ìrìn àjò yìí. Mo kí bàbá wa the Bariga Jagunmolu 3 tí wọ́n lọ sí ìlú Èkìtì láìpẹ́ yìí láti lọ yọjú sí àwọn tí Èkìtì. Mo kí ọba Adó Ìwòyí Èkìtì. Mo kí bàbá mi ọba Jagunmolu 3rd. Àwọn náà wọ́n kúṣẹ́ takuntakun. Wọ́n lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mú kí gbogbo àwọn ọba orí aládé títí dé bàbá wa ọba ti ìlú Ìgbòho. Yoruba nation kò ń ṣe iṣẹ́ èèyàn kan. It is a multitask. Everybody has a role. Àwọn kan máa ṣe little. Àwọn kan máa ṣe big. But wọ́n ní àgbájọwọ́ òun la fi ń ṣe kíni, la fi ń jẹ́ kó dòdìndì. Ẹ má jẹ́ kó rẹ̀yìn. Ẹ má jẹ́ kó rẹ̀wẹ̀sì sí yín lọ́kàn. Ẹ má jẹ́ káwọn olóṣèlú olè tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ against wa kó sọ fún yín pé gbogbo ariwo tó ń pa ariwo ọjà ni. Tásìkò bá tó fùrọ̀ máa là. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá máa jí nígbà tá a bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àlàyé. Ẹ má wá gbàgbé pé nínú oṣù tí ó fẹ́ tán yìí gbogbo wa ti dá májẹ̀mú, àdá májẹ̀mú kú. Májẹ̀mú kí la dá ni pé ní oṣooṣù ọ̀rànmíyàn 10 tó ní ká máa dá láti fi sọ̀pọ́tì ìrìn àjò yìí. Wọn ò ní kẹ́ dá fún mídíà kankan, wọn ò ní kẹ́ dá fún individual. Kò kí ń ṣe àkáǹtì èèyàn lẹ́ máa dá sí. Is going to be paid into the YSDN fẹ̀yìntì ẹ wà ní ìlú òyìnbó. All you have to do is to go to the let's start with this. I'll mute my mic.
The welfare of millions of people for generations to come may be affected by the wisdom which we here display. If Nigerian leaders and our British partners are to prove themselves worthy of their trust, now is the time for us solemnly and truly to dedicate ourselves to seeking the greatest good of the greatest number of our people in Nigeria.
Call on to Baba from okay, the late Jeremiah Awolowo, the man that saw the vision. Okay, Jamo 419, my brother. And I say shout out to all our listeners. And Fear Nibalo on the Instagram and say good morning. To donate to the Onomio 10 is a straightforward for those of you in the diaspora because your card details can be used. But those in Nigeria are complaining that they can't use their card details because Nigeria doesn't have enough to support it. In Tonfani, most of you, your bank cannot supply that service because any payment you make through your bank card, your country should be able to support it. But since Nigeria is a country, it is not worth even calling any union. What Latipini club or student association because it cannot look after you, not even to talk about your family. But many of you have been told lies just like we were told. So when you come to the ysdm.org, you go straight to the donation, you click on the subscription, and then you register, and that allows you to make payment. See Onomio Mewa. Anyone in Nigeria, all you need to do is to reach out to medias and you'll be given the Naira account. It is only 10 Naira. In your account, but jáde kó sọ pé òun ní 10 Naira láti dá sínú ìrìnàjò yìí. Èmi náà bí ṣe sọ, I will try and do mine today. I keep saying I will do it, but my fulfill mission here to sort it out today because àníyàn ní gbogbo ẹ̀. Kọlọ̀ngbà nìyẹn wà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ìyàwó Ìfagbémilékè ni the late Pa Awolowo, a very legend that is different from the rest. Yàtọ̀ sí bàbá Akintoye. Àtàwọn bàbá kọ̀ọ̀kan tó dúró ti ìran Yorùbá pé our dreams and the vision will happen. Some of you dem máa sọ pé Yoruba nation is not going to happen. Well, you will probably be the dead one. Ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ṣojú ayé tèmi. I am only going to be 40-something by Friday, the end of this month, which is going to be a very good day. It will be a day of excitement like anybody's birthday. Owó àti àdúrà la fẹ́. Ẹ má fi ẹjọ́ wá fi rò fún mi níjọ́ Friday. Níjọ́ Friday, ẹ fún wa ní owó, ẹ dẹ̀ fàdúrà ràn wá lọ́wọ́. So if you're one of those tó ń sọ pé mo kẹ́ kẹ́kẹ́ of course, Mr. Bamidele and the rest of you on the Instagram. Mo kẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Jamo 419 my brother. Ọba Elédùmarè wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa. Gbogbo wa ṣe ń hustle lọ́tùlọ́sì. It's 5 minutes past 5. It's quite early in the hours of the morning. And my voice has to be a little bit reduced because my family is still sleeping upstairs. We are dedicated for this job. We have no regrets doing it. It might not work as much as I want because it has slowed down because of the interference of that Mumi Water woman. But Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè ó ti bá wa ṣẹ́gun ẹ̀, ó ti sá kúrò, òun fúnra rẹ̀ gan ó wà on the run. And nemesis will catch up on her. Àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé irọ́ làwa ń gbé kalẹ̀ láti sọ fún ọmọ Yorùbá pé a fẹ́ kúrò ní Nigeria. There's always a lot to talk about when you look at Nigeria itself. Ṣé crime tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́? Tẹ́ bá ń follow news channel wa on a daily basis, you will see the amount of atrocities that you will ask yourself, why is it like this? It is a deliberate act. And it is the reason why we need to push and push and push. Let me tell you what I had last night. While I was in my kitchen doing my broadcast, I showed you two different things. Mo fi dodo wọ̀nyí, mo fi dùndún wọ̀nyí, àbíṣu. But in tí mo fi wọ̀nyí ni ẹja tíyàwó mi ti ṣe sílẹ̀ kó tó lọ síbi iṣẹ́ tó ti prep. ìgbà tó dé ẹ̀rí pé mi náà fọbọ́ nínú kitchen because kò gbọ́dọ̀ tún délé tí mo mọ̀ pé ń bọ̀ wá dáná àwọn ọmọ mi wà nílé lóòótọ́ but I help them because they are children. You have to help them and balance the situation. Mo lè ní káwọn ọmọ mi lọ fọbọ́ wọn ní kọ́ sí mi lẹ́nu. Ṣé bá rí mi tí mò ń fọbọ́? It's just to balance the situation in the house because ìlú òyìnbó ni bíbá. Mo mọ̀ pé ní Nàìjíríà gbogbo ilẹ̀ máa ń ṣe big man ẹ ti gbọ́ ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ sílé. You don't even help your wife láti bá wọn fọbọ́ àti ṣe some little things in the house. Torí pé o fi pé wọ́n ní baálé ilé. Tó bá jẹ́ pé o ṣẹ̀ wá sí abroad tó ń gbé ní UK, mo bẹ̀ yín, ìbí báyọ̀ ń ṣe Nàìjíríà. For you to have a peaceful home, for you to have your relationship to remain powerful and strong, do not bring that your nonsense jagbajantis tẹ́ ń gbé wá láti Nàìjíríà. Ọmọ kan ní last week mo sọ fún yín nílùú iná ni mo ní sọ outside London wọ́n pè mí ni ìyá ẹ̀ fi ọmọ yẹn sílẹ̀ sínú ilé ó náà sáré lọ ṣiṣẹ́ lára àwọn tó ṣẹ̀ ń dé náà ní student. Mo bẹ̀ yín ẹ má fi ọmọ sínú ilé nìkan. Ọmọ yẹn múra tán ó gbéra ó lọ sí school ọmọ tí kò jẹ́ kó dá lọ sí school kò tún wá lọ sí school débi pé akọ blend pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ ó lọ sí school 1 hour ahead. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí ó ti involve social media. Many of the students that have arrived into this country today, they are struggling because of the exchange rate. It is not your fault. You don't have to blame yourself. It is because Nigeria failed every one of us. If you are coming in here and you are struggling, àwa náà ti struggle, adẹ̀ṣe struggle. Mo kí bàbá mi Adégoroyè Ọ̀pẹ́yẹmí Àdìsá, mo kí yẹn káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa. Àwa náà ti gbìyànjú, mo kí bàbá mi Gbógi 1881, mo kí Testimony Ògúntọ̀nà, good morning. Àwa náà ti ṣe ìgbìyànjú kí a tó lè settle down and we are still working on. Mo kẹ́ tó gbọ́ wa lórí Mixlr. So dodo tí mo jẹ lálẹ́ àná àti dùndú pẹ̀lú ọbẹ̀ ata àti ẹja mo wá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà lénìí. Mo ti jí sára láti bí 1 hour but I don't rush to come out of the bed. I take my time, then I come out, I brush my teeth, then I dressed up and set up. It takes about 20 minutes to prepare this broadcast. If I am using a laptop, ìyẹn ló máa ń ṣe èròjù fíyàn nígbà mi, but with a mobile phone you can go live straight. Ẹja àti dòdò àti dùndú tẹ̀ ń wò yìí is meant to be one of the basic food just like many of you in Nigeria. But the Nigeria today, ìbéèrè tí mo béèrè at 3:22 a.m. ní èdè 29 tó pé ọdún kan tí Tinubu ti wà lórí oyè. If you are still one of those that eat this regularly in Nigeria, thank your almighty creator, whether Jesus ló ń sìn, whether ànábì ni, whether àwa oníṣẹ̀ṣe. I don't have any problem with whatever your faith is. But what I am asking is, Nigerians are now eating well, good security and welfare since President Tinubu came to power 1 year ago. Tinubu told us Nigeria is no longer bleeding. What do you say to this APC government of President Tinubu after 1 year in office? Ẹ̀yin náà bá ń fi sínú comment section. Kí ni èròǹgbà yín? Kí lẹ rò síjọba Tinubu yìí lẹ́yìn ọdún kan tó ti wà nínú ìjọba àlífà tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́? Tinubu ló ní orí òun kún pé ká bá òun fa. Ó jáde, ó lo platform Yorùbá Nation, ó fi ṣe advantage pẹ̀lú àwọn northerners pé àwọn ọmọ tó ń pariwo Yorùbá Nation yìí tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá jẹ́ ń débẹ̀ èmi ló kàn. Màá sọ fún bàbá Akíntóyè kó lọ declare àti gbowó. Àwọn northerners dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn sì fi máa jẹ mùdùmúdùn torí olè ni wọ́n gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn Yorùbá àtàwọn ìyà tó kù náà. Tinubu bá take advantage yẹn lọ́ba ló dá àwọn á fún ẹ ní ticket but àá gbé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá tó máa attack ẹ, and that was why Ọ̀ṣínbàjò was also put out to contest against Tinubu and the rest. But we know how the politicians work. It could all be politics. But ìbéèrè lẹ́ǹkan sí ni pé, are you in your own house? Máa ka dùndú tó wà níbẹ̀, máa farabalẹ̀ ka dùndú tó wà níbẹ̀, kódà mò ń jẹ́ tèmi tán, ó sì wà nínú kitchen. Later on láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ tí bá fi pé ohun mi jẹ, I will eat it again. My question to you is your household eating at least something similar to this without breaking the bank, without crying for help? Aboma kọ́kọ́ wá sórí social media kò tó lè rí nǹkan báyìí jẹ. Think about it, and this is the reason why Baba Akintoye ní kí sọ fún yín pé Nigeria has taken us backwards. I have shown you, but I can show you properly since I am using the software. Ẹnu ni mo ti fi ń sọ láti ijọ́ mẹ́ta tí mo ti ń dárúkọ ẹ̀. Now, lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, ẹ jẹ́ n fi fídíò ìsọnù wọ̀nyí. This is the damage that the British have done to us. Tó wá di pé kábíyèsí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ń kúnlẹ̀ fún olórí burúkú Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún tí kò dẹ̀ sọ fún kábíyèsí pé tẹ bá tẹ̀ ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ bá wá ké mi nínú ilé ẹ ti gbàgbé pé ta la wà. Kábíyèsí ẹ má tún kneel down fún mi. This is the damage that the British have done in our life. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún wo fídíò yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Ṣe rí kábíyèsí tó kúnlẹ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún nígbà tí wọ́n jọ wà ní secondary school. Tó bá tẹ̀ ju kábíyèsí lọ, kí la ṣe ń pe kábíyèsí? Ìjọ tíyàn bá ti di ọba, ó ti di gbogbo tí gbogbo èèyàn máa bọ̀wọ̀ fún. But àwọn gómìnà olè olórí burúkú tó ń dé fìdáwó lọ́wọ́ káàkiri, these are the damages of this contraction táwọn British create by making sure that all our kábíyèsí does not have what it takes to be respected. And as you can see in this video, the king kneeling down next to a governor that is only there for another 3 years, because eléyìí tí Tinubu pé ọdún mẹ́ta péré ló ní, bó ṣe máa wọ̀gò káàkiri bí àwọn tó ń mu cocaine, because I don't know why they put on glasses, because wọ́n bá ti fagbó nínú ilé wọ́n wá cover ojú wọn. These are all criminals, because a rántí pé ìkan náà àwọn olè tó ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n ti arrest boy náà, ó máa ń ṣe tax fraud àbí benefit fraud l'America. I don't know his name, but ó wà l'America tó ti mú nísìn. It was one of the essay to the governor. Ibi tí a ṣe ń sọ fẹ́yìn ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ jẹ́ ká padà síbi tó rí sùn wá wà. All these are part of the damage that the British created, which we have suffered in this abominable independent Nigeria. And these are the reason why we are crying on a daily basis. We are fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nigeria pé a fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan a fẹ́ anything to do with Nigeria again. Ìwọ lè sọ pé kò kùn ẹ̀, but think about it. Ṣé ó dáa kí níta gbangba tí kò ń ṣe nínú private building wọn tí ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó wá ń dọ̀bálẹ̀, bìkọ́ afẹ́ ilé ìdílé ń dọ̀bálẹ̀ nísìnyí fún Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún? Ṣé King Charles tó lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ nílùú yìí? Lérè Ọláyínká sọ pé kábíyèsí orí adé ọ̀run ilékè kneeling to talk to the Imperial Majesty. Ta ló fi Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún ṣe Imperial Majesty? Prince Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún, the governor Eléyìí of Ogun State. The shame is not on Ọba, it is on the governor who himself is a prince. Ta ló fi jẹ́ prince? They are all criminals. Abẹ́rẹ́ tí kábíyèsí kúnlẹ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Eléyìí, àwọn olórí burúkú àbáyé jẹ́ governor tí ọba Elédùmarè tó máa ṣèdájọ́ lé gbogbo yín lórí fún gbogbo iṣẹ́ ibi tẹ́ ń ṣe. 70% of àwọn ọmọ àlè ọba kò bá yí gbé. Yorùbá yẹn pọ̀ jù díẹ̀ fún mi, ẹ má bínú, ẹ̀rọ pé Yorùbá tèmi ìgẹ́ta sí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, but mo ṣáà ti gẹ́tì mẹ́sẹ̀gì ní àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ti gẹ́tẹ̀. Now, mo fẹ́ sọ fún yín tí ẹ̀ ń jẹ́ student ní ìlú òyìnbó tẹ́ wá tẹ jápa, kò kí n ṣe fault yín. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ń sọ fún yín, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń argue pé Nàìjíríà máa da, èmi ò sọ pé Nàìjíríà ò ní da o, torí tí bá sọ yẹn nísìnyí èmi lè máa forí ẹ̀ fàgbọ̀n. But look at this data tí mo pick from the internet yesterday. If you follow me on Twitter, tá à ń pè ní X, you will not miss out a lot. Look at this data. I know pé kò show dáadáa because of this. Àwọn nǹkan tó ń show lókè. Let me see if I can. Okay. Torí bó ṣe rí kò fún mi ní. All right, let's do something. I think I can bring it into ẹgbẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí. Màá lò because mo like data yẹn. Poverty in the 419 country ni màá fi save it. So let me save it on my laptop. túbọ̀ support wa. We need a lot of your help. Àwọn ọmọ tó ń bá mi ṣiṣẹ́ bí ìgbà tó yẹ pé àríṣẹ́ fún wọn 25 of them, but a lè máa ní kọ́ lọ́ máa ṣe lè tá a bá ní owó tá a máa fi run it. So I will bring it into the screen properly. But while you are still looking at it there, I'm just going to call it poverty level 419 country. Many of you don't blame yourself for the problem in Nigeria. It is the foundation the British create. British mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yà wa ẹ̀yà tó ní future fún wọn ni, but wọ́n lọ kó wa pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù. A kì í ṣe Igbo ní agenda, Hausa lágenda, Yoruba lágenda. That is the reason why we are all different. But nígbà tó dẹ̀ ti kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ yìí, that is why we are having so much difficulties. Àwọn kan ní leadership problem ni. Tábá dá dúró, a mọ̀ pé láàrin ara wa a máa dé pẹ̀lú ara wa. Kò sẹ́ni tó máa lo federal might láti fi oppress wa. Gbogbo àgbáyé ló máa ń béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wọn. It doesn't matter. Ìlú ìbò ṣe wà, election bọ̀ nísìn. After the 14 years of this conservative tó ti fìyà jẹ gbogbo wa, ẹ má bínú kí tí mo save ni mo tún wá báyìí. Kí mo fi save ẹ̀kẹ́. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé a kú oríire lọ́tún lósì pé Ọlọ́run tẹ̀ gbé gbogbo wa dìde ní wákàtí. Ẹ kò imagine tó bá jẹ́ pé a jáde ní wákàtí òkè òmìnira. So now I'm going to adjust it so that I will fit into the screen, because a man like can show any evidence. Mo kí brother mi àbí chíyá mi ní ṣọ́bìnrin ní ẹ̀rí sí aṣèrò ìyá obìnrin ní orúkọ mi ló ń jẹ́ rí sí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́mì. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà láìlọ Amẹ́ríkà. Mo mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin náà ti ń lọ sí ọwọ́ òru lọ́dọ̀ yín lọ́hùn, ilẹ̀ tí mo lọ́dọ̀ ti wà different time zone. Mo kí ẹ̀ta wà ní China, Australia, Hong Kong. Ẹ̀yin náà wo data yìí tí mo gbé wá síwájú àwòrán wa. Nigeria is cornering the market in extreme poverty, even as the population living on less than $1.90, kò pé $2. I'm sure that has reduced drastically due to the inflation. Mo sọ pé kò ń ṣe fọ́tẹ̀, má bínú sí rẹ̀ ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ. Ìwọ kọ́ ni problem. Nàìjíríà ló kó bá rẹ̀ tí gbogbo wa fi ń jìyà lẹ́nu. Even as the population living, gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà wọ́n ní you are living on less than $2. Ilẹ̀ tí mọ́ ẹgbẹ́ kan ṣí ọtí yìí kí a lè get to proper light kò wọlé. At least reflection yẹn dá nísìn. Mo kí gbogbo yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i tẹ́ ń wọlé ní méjì mẹ́ta. Tẹ́ bá mi pín, ìyẹn ló máa pè mí. Ẹ bá mi pín, ẹ ṣé gan-an mo kí gbogbo wa. Orúkọ tèmi náà ń pè náà Láyọ̀mí Koiki. Bloomberg ló gbé rìpọ́ọ̀tì jáde. Ẹ̀yin náà wo data yẹn. Even as the population of Nigeria are living on $1.90 kò pé $2. Tàbádẹ̀ lọ wo kí ni exchange rate láàárọ̀ yìí. Kátẹ̀ mú lọ sí ẹ̀jẹ̀ lọ mú calculator mi jáde. Let's even say the dollar is 1,005. Kakop capes 1,005 times 1.90. So that means pé according to the data, tó o bá ti lè máa jẹun 2,850 naira on a daily basis, you are also capped into an abject poverty. Mo kí Abiodun Gafar káàbọ̀ sórí ètò brother mi. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa. Ẹ pín ètò yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ kó wọ gbogbo ibi tó yẹ kó lọ ní inú space, because tó bá ń dúró pé BBC Yorùbá ló máa ṣe irú iṣẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe yìí, wàá dúró pẹ́pẹ́ o. Tó bá ń dúró pé Channels Television, Arise, NTA àtàwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, they are not gonna do it. Kàkà bẹ́ẹ̀, they are working against what we are doing. Àwa la lè jọ ṣe, èmi, ìwọ àtàwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí ẹ̀. Don't expect too much. Mo kí brother mi, àwọn security ìlú yìí nìyẹn. Security ìlú yìí ó ní training tó máa fún wọn. kò dàbí ti zoo country tí máa fi wọ̀nyí nísìn. Mo kí brother mi Peter Ọládélé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Now gbogbo àti rí data yàbí. Now let's come back out and come here. Ṣètúrẹ́lẹ̀ tí mo máa ń kà fún yín láti ìjọ mẹ́ta. Petrol ó lọ láti 238.11 ó ti lọ sí 701. Food inflation ẹ rántí pé mo tẹ̀ sí yín lójú lẹ́ǹkan ń bọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ lọ gbé jáde. Fún mi máa gbé oúnjẹ yẹn sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ pé mo fẹ́ kẹ́ rí oúnjẹ tí mo jẹ lálẹ́ àná. Tíwọ náà bá ti ń jẹrú ẹ̀ ìwọ àti Tinubu wà níjọba o ní láti wà stress ààrẹ sọ fún mi pé Koiki shut up èmi náà ń gbádùn ayé mi ní bíbá but tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ló ń gbádùn ayé ẹ̀ so now tí mo fi sọ̀rọ̀ nípa food inflation ẹ jẹ́ n fi oúnjẹ tí mo jẹ yẹn. That's the beauty of the software. If you can do multiple tasks ó yàtọ̀ sí mobile phone so mo máa fi oúnjẹ yẹn máa gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ẹ̀gbẹ́ data yìí so that kí lè máa fi lá yín lójú torí pé à ń sọ fún yín pé o ò lè gbádùn ayé torí Nàìjíríà ìlú òfò ni. Bámidélé àlè káàárọ̀ mú kí ẹ̀yin fẹ́ máa kí àsùbà ẹ rántí pé tẹ́ bá ti ń parí àsùbà ẹ máa jókòó 3 minutes ẹ sọ fọ́lọ́run nínú àdúrà yín pé kó tú wa sílẹ̀ nínú ìdì tí wọ́n kó wa sí because Nigeria is locked in the spiritual realm. Ṣé ti rí nísìn pé ó level dáadáa ṣe láìkẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ ṣe ń rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bí ṣe máa ṣe fún yín nìyẹn. Tí wọn náà bá ń gbádùn báyìí nípa food inflation níbi tílẹ̀ mọ́dé láàárọ̀ yìí tí wọ́n ń fìyà jẹ mẹ̀kúnnù tí wọ́n ò ní làákàyè pé many Yoruba people ìdí tí bàbá Akíntóyè ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó gbé à ń lo multiple task láàárọ̀ yìí so tí bá wá báyìí again tí bá gbélé wá báyìí ìdí tí bàbá Akíntóyè máa yọ ilé kúrò tọ́ṣe ní Koiki bá ń lọ sọ fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pé nínú Nàìjíríà we Yoruba àwa ìran ọmọ aládé we have suffered abominably in the independent Nigeria àti sọ meaning abominably yẹn lánàá àtúnlẹ̀ lólè ní kò mátà and have decided to exit Nigeria. Kí la ṣe fẹ́ exit so that we can have a future because right now arákùnrin kan ń bọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ṣì kíkó ẹ̀jẹ̀ sáré lọ sórí Instagram mi arákùnrin kan náà lọ́lé Linda Ìkejì ló post ẹ̀ sórí blog ẹ̀ ó ní ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní diaspora ẹ bá wa máa tọ́jú àwọn èèyàn ní nílé because àwọn èèyàn suffer èmi kọ́ ni mo sọ màá fi post yẹn wọ̀nyí that is if I can still see because sometimes òlélẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ lọ wo post yẹn ẹ jẹ́ ká yọ ilé tí à ń lò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé tí ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ yìí tó bá ń dàbí ẹ̀fẹ̀ kò ń ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ní tó ń mú àwa nígbà àyà tó ń dùn wá lọ́kàn pé kò jẹ́ kí a máa jẹ wá bí a ṣe ń jẹ wá yìí now ní tí mo fẹ́ fi wọ̀n wá yìí mo ń bọ̀ mo adjust ẹ mọ̀ pé mo fẹ́ adjust ẹ̀ kí tó post ẹ̀ wá sínú you can always prepare it before you send it that's the beauty of this job so now ẹ̀wọ̀n tárákùnrin yìí kọ síbẹ̀ ó ní I just got back from Nigeria yesterday my people ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi things are extremely bad níbi tó bá ti ń lo extreme meaning of extreme tó ti bàjẹ́ tó ti rotten tí kò ṣe máa fi ṣàpèjúwe kí ló dé ń fa gbogbo kìíní kò ju ibi tí wọ́n ti fìyà àti ìṣẹ́ wọ́n ti kó sí wa nígbà àyà níbi tí wọ́n pè ní ìlú òfò ìlú àdánù ìlú burúkú. Arákùnrin ní I kept asking òun béèrè pé how are you guys surviving báwo lẹ ṣe ń survive ẹ wá ní kò ní ritualist Ogun State ọmọ Ogun State ní mí tọ́ba níbi tó ti fìyàn jẹ tó ń fìyàn ṣe sójú Ogun State ní lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí mo bẹ̀ yẹn yìí yá wa ẹ̀yin tẹ níyàn lógún State ẹ bá wa máa sọ fáwọn ọmọ yẹn kó ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀ tó bá níbi tó ti ń fìyàn ṣẹ̀ṣó lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá Ogun State ní number 1 ritualist tó ń bẹ níbẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ní wọ́n ń ta drugs wọ́n ní àwọn ọmọ Igbo yẹn ti wà lógùn State I can say that categorically kò ní pé mo bá àwọn ọmọ Igbo jà wọ́n náà ti flood gbogbo Ogun State pẹ̀lú drugs we are in danger tá a bá tètè we are all going to be consumed a máa wà consumed mo sọ fún yín mo bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run kó jọ kó yọ wá kúrò nínú wàhálà tá a wà nínú ẹ̀ ó wá ní abeg do your best to support family and friends back home if you can mo wá béèrè pé ṣáwa gan ní sí ṣáà ti wà láti get ṣé ẹni tó wá kàwé nísìn tó ṣì ń wá wo school ṣáà lè support the family yes àwa náà ta ti wà ní bíbá tó tọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta àwa náà ní àwa náà ti ní family ní bíbá ní responsibility lóòótọ́ ìlú yìí ní standard but tó bá fẹ́ make sure pé live to the standard tó máa jẹ́ dòdò àti iṣu tí yẹn rí you will also have to work hard. lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí arákùnrin ni I just got back from Nigeria yesterday bóun ṣe dé padà lánàá ni ó ní things are extremely bad kí ló dé fa gbogbo ìdààmú àti wàhálà yìí kò ju èyí tí wọ́n pè ní olórí burúkú 1914 amalgamation of four tọlọkọ wá sínú ẹ̀ èyí ló fa gbogbo wàhálà ìdààmú tí ọmọ Yorùbá wà nínú ẹ̀ lẹ́nu because tí kò bá sí 1914 amalgamation tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n fi wá sílẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe bá wa tí wọ́n jí wa gbé tó ṣe gbogbo jàǹbá fún wa a ní fèsì gbogbo wàhálà àti ìdààmú tá wà. Tinubu sọ pé èmi ló kàn àbájiyàn ó ti kàn Ọlọ́run ti fún ṣe gbogbo àdúrà tó ṣe fún gbogbo ètùtù tó ṣe fún torí kò lè náwó ṣe tutù bí chọ́ọ̀chì ṣe gbàdúrà fún ni mọ́ṣáláṣí náà gbọ́wọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ bọ́ọ̀ gbọ́wọ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn kan máa bá ṣe àmọ́ èèyàn mélòó náà ọmọ Yorùbá ló ti ṣaláìsí lára àwọn 7,000 lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí Tinubu dórí oyè ẹ máa bá ń fi sínú comment section ó pé ọdún kan tó ti dórí oyè lénìí ẹ má sọ pé òun kọ́ ló bàjẹ́ APC ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́ tí Tinubu lọ gbé wá ó wà lára àwọn tó bà Nàìjíríà jẹ́ torí òun lórí rẹ̀ tó fi lọ gbé Nàìjíríà wá tó gbé Buhari olórí burúkú Buhari olè Buhari 419 tó ní àwọn màálù òun ó sàn ju ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà lọ ó ní màálù tóun sìn ó wà far better ju ọmọ Nàìjíríà lọ ó lè sọ pé rọ́ọ̀nì mọ́ pa torí mo mọ̀ pé nígbà mi ta bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ẹ̀yin máa ń fẹ́ defend wọn ni ó ń ṣe gbogbo yín o but ẹ máa fẹ́ defend tí kò jẹ́ kẹ́ defend evidence ẹ̀ òun lélẹ̀.
I congratulate fellow Nigerians who have realized their power, that their votes count. I'm looking forward to tomorrow to fly to my base and go back to my cows and sheep.
ṣé ń gbọ́ lórí burúkú ṣé ń gbọ́ lórí burúkú president ó ní I am looking forward ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò bàbá mi Adésanwó Balógun wọ́n kí ẹlẹ́ǹkan sí Abíọ́dún Gafar ẹ bá wa máa comment ẹ bá wa pín ètò yẹn kẹ́ńtẹ́ wàrà kẹ́ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ó ní I am looking forward to my cow Buhari oríṣiríṣi la rí kó tó kúrò lórí oyè oríṣiríṣi designer Buhari la rí bá ṣe rí Buhari eléyìí àrí Buhari eléyìí àrí Buhari eléyìí àwọn Biafra Nnamdi Kanu ló ti kú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ evidence wọn náà sin sí Saudi Arabia èmi ọ̀rẹ́ evidence yẹn but màá ní ìgbà tó tẹ̀ ní kí láǹfààní olórí burúkú ẹ̀ torí òun ló lọ kọ́ àwọn jihadis mo kí bàbá mi kún lé sí tẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí òun ló lọ kọ́ àwọn jihadis wá ìyá mi Fágbémilékè ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Koiki Yoruba are already in danger but our people don't really want to wake up from the deep sleep. They would rather be hyping their celebrities on social media. Lánàá mídíà méjì ló ń làmẹ́ǹtì gidi pé ẹ support ká lè fi oríṣiríṣi ká kó àwọn nǹkan jáde ká lọ fi ṣe investigative journalism were expensive. Abiodun Gafar sọ pé a lot of our people in the country they are still believing in Nigeria. Well, it's entirely up to them. Let them believe in one Nigeria. But Buhari olórí burúkú sí bàbá ẹja gbọ́n tó sọ tán. Designer Buhari oríṣiríṣi la rí kó tó lọ. Ẹja gbọ́n tó sọ tán. Ẹja mi ò tí máa kì í mọ́lẹ̀. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o. Ẹ káàárọ̀. Life lẹ́ ń wò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Bí ẹ bá fẹ́ lọ sùn ní tẹ́wà ní òkè ọya lọ́hùn. Ẹ ní right láti lọ sùn. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ṣe wà pẹ̀lú wa. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo ibi tẹ́ bá wà. Ẹni tó ní ọmọ Nàìjíríà lòun náà mo kí ẹ ṣáà máa tẹ́tí máa fojú wo dòdò yẹn máa fojú gbé kúrò lórí screen kó fi àwọn ẹ̀ kó fi gbé wọnú ilé ẹ̀ tí wọn náà bá ti ń gbádùn báyìí that means pé ayé tiẹ̀ ti bẹ́tà nínú Nàìjíríà but àwọn èèyàn wa tó kù wọ́n ní Koiki àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ tó gbé sórí screen àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ jẹ dòdò ata òun ẹ̀ tó ń ta tòmátò nísìnyí wọ́n ní àpẹẹrẹ tòmátò 150,000 atarodo gbogbo ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ẹja ń bẹ l'Ondo state àárín kankan fi ṣe àtún import ẹ̀ wọlé ni ẹja gbọ́n tí sí bàbá sọ olórí burúkú Ọládipúpọ̀ S Babátúndé mo kí wọ́n ní Koiki our people are gullible wọ́n like òtítọ́ gbogbo tó ń sọ yìí òtítọ́ ni bọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wọ́n like òtítọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kébi máa sọ ìjọ kan ẹ̀mí ni máa kó sí wọn nínú á jẹ́ kí wọ́n gbọ́n tí mò ń sọ ẹja mi ò tí máa kiri mọ́lẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Sheep to fly to my base and go back to my cows and sheep, which are much easier to control than fellow Nigerians. But I have to reduce their number because I cannot save enough to buy them feeds. Your Excellencies, heads of
ẹ ti gbọ́n tí olórí burúkú Buhari tó kó gbogbo àwọn jagunjalè gbogbo àwọn terrorist tó ń bẹ lágbàáyé ó kó wọn wọlé ó ní kó wá ṣe jàǹbá fún ìran Yorùbá ẹ wá rí i pé these reasons alone àjọṣepọ̀ àwọn àti Nàìjíríà ó ti mẹ́hẹ̀ẹ́ kò jẹ́ ká ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà mọ́ àwọn olóṣèlú olè màá tún fi kan wọ̀nyí nísìnyí ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbélé wọlé báyìí ká prepare the next video tí mo fẹ́ fi wọ̀nyí àti rí ìtarákùnrin sọ ẹ tún wá wo tí ìkànnì àwọn olè politician yín nǹkan máa ń ṣe náà nìyẹn àwọn kan ní owó tiẹ̀ ló náà kò náwó tiẹ̀ nígbà tó ti jẹ senator ló ti fi yín pawó ètí kò yẹ yín nìyẹn Ọlọ́run ẹ̀rí jẹ́ kó yé yín another senator yín tí òun náà jẹ́ criminal bíi ti yín tẹ́yìn náà fi dàbí ẹ̀ jẹ́rí. Terrorism. These are what many Yoruba people know tí wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà àwọn náà ń gbàdúrà àwọn bíi Dayo Israel àwọn bíi influencers yín tó máa fún ní $500 $1,000 àwọn náà fẹ́ dàbí àwọn criminal bíi Dino Malaye àwọn kan ní ó ti lówó tẹ́lẹ̀ rí náà gbogbo alámọ̀ ẹni tó lówó tẹ́lẹ̀ rí ẹni tó lówó tẹ́lẹ̀ rí inú politics tó ti ṣe kódà bó ṣọdún kan nínú senator constituency project ó léye tó ń gbé fún wọn ó dẹ̀ léye tóun náà máa yọ nínú ẹ̀ ó léye percentage tó máa gbà kó tó pàṣẹ budget because gbogbo àwọn tẹ̀ ń rí pátá mo kí ìyá mi orúkọ ayàtọ̀ máa ń wù mí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò sàlámù aleikum mo kí yín ṣé dáadáa ni ẹ jí mo kí ìyá mi àwọn ìyá lálùbáríkà Adéọlá Òsínlóye mo kí gbogbo àwọn mùsùlùmí tó ń bẹ ní United Kingdom mo kí gbogbo yín alásàlátù mo kí gbogbo yín kristẹni mo kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe ní gbogbo ilé àti oko kẹrí dínà tẹ́ bá wá lọ sábẹ́ kọmẹǹtì dínà ẹrí kan bó ṣe rí gbogbo alamọ bó ṣe rí kó tó di politician tí ẹ fi wà in this abject poverty òun lẹ ti rí yẹn ìdí tí bàbá Akíntóyè ṣe ní ṣé bá ṣe máa bá lọ lélẹ̀ ká máa live in denial this country is not working ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún padà sí graphs mo sọ fún yín pé continue láti máa sọ pé Koiki everything is fine in Nigeria ṣóun rí suspected kidnappers. Emma down alone. There's nothing called kidnappers. These are Fulani terrorists. Ló ń pààyàn. Kò ń ṣe IPOB ló ń pààyàn. Wọ́n mẹni tó ń pààyàn Nasarawa lélẹ̀. Ṣáwọn IPOB náà ló lọ sí Nasarawa tó lọ pa máyìn. Ṣáwọn Biafra náà ló lọ sí Nasarawa tó lọ pa. No. It is done by the Fulani jihadists. Gbogbo wọn dẹ̀ lọ́mọ àwọn tó ń ṣe. Gbogbo wọn lọ́mọ ẹni tó ń ṣe jàǹbá ẹ̀. Because even the Katsina state government ètò sọ lélẹ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àgbọ̀n tó sọ.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time tonight. My question earlier is that are there political motivation for the rise of banditry in the the northwestern region of the country? Who are those that are backing or supporting or fueling banditry in the region? Your Excellency, can you hear me?
Yes, please, can you repeat yourself?
All right, so I'm saying my question is, who are there those who are backing and politically motivating banditry in the northwestern region?
Thank you very much. There are so many insinuations as to what causes the banditry in our region, but to me, and to my understanding and from the little knowledge I have, being the governor of the state for almost a year now, I understand that the issue of the hypothesis behind political motives about banditry is not true. I think purely what causes banditry in our place, the root cause of it was injustice. There were a lot of injustices that were done on the planet, which causes this problem to spring over time. This thing has been with us for a very long time, and it has started small, and it has grown big now. And then there are some collaborators from the houses who are staying within the towns, who are serving as the providers of logistics to those bandits. But the issue of the hypothesis behind there is some foreigners involved, there are some people from the foreign land that are coming to inflict this thing on our people is purely a political statement by some people who just want to use that as a political goal to them. In the issue of security, then secondly, what also causes the recruitment under the logistic services for the bandit was as a result of poverty. Because surprisingly, with 2,000, 5,500 naira, you can be able to convince.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
But many people say that it hasn't come to an end, even though we can all see the evidence upon evidence of the poverty. Kódà àwọn ará oko yìí, àwọn farmers yìí, wọ́n kígbe bàbá, wọ́n ní olóyè Ìgbòho, àwọn ń bẹ̀ ni jọ̀ọ́ má jẹ́ kó pa wá tán, bá wa ṣe nǹkan kan. Ẹ wo arákùnrin tẹ́ ń rí tó pa sí Nasarawa ẹ̀, bó ṣe ń pa wọ́n ní Nasarawa ló ń pa wọ́n sísàlẹ̀. Mo kí brother mi Salami Gbenga, wọ́n ní good morning, kí ẹ káàárọ̀. Ìyá mi Gbenga Ifágbémilékè ni, why are they using the word banditry instead of terrorism? Àbòsí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan kò tí change lórí ẹ̀. Ẹ jàjọ wo fídíò yìí. Mr. Koiki, where is this Yoruba man now? Which Yoruba? George Akinola. Behind the scene ni iṣẹ́ ń lọ lẹ́yìn. Àwọn gbogbo wọn máa ń gbọ́ wọn wá kọ́kọ́ wá sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan ni iṣẹ́ ń lọ lẹ́yìn. George Akinola is still wọ́n ṣì wà pẹ̀lú bàbá Professor Akintoye the last month. If you go into too much details, ó láwọn ìpàdé kan tí ó lọ ní last month ọ̀tẹ̀mọ̀ gbogbo kankan la fi sọ lórí social media ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ eléyìí nígbà táwọn àgbẹ̀ wa tó kígbe síta pé olóyè Ìgbòho àjọ wàá ràn wá lọ́wọ́ Bídèmí Olúyọkú mo kí yín brọ́dà mi ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò sá.
finish ẹ kò sọ̀njẹ mọ́ àwa tó wà lóko kọ ìyá ló ń jẹ wá báyìí so àwa náà gan ti ń ra gàrí bá a bá kó ewùrà sílẹ̀ á kó bó o kóṣù sílẹ̀ á kó gbogbo nǹkan ní oko kò sí nǹkan tí agbádùn ẹ̀ mọ́. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí iṣẹ́ tẹ́ rán mi mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó wà lẹ́yìn mi báyìí kò sí kan tí mo lè ṣe tí mo sọ fún ẹ pé ìgbà tẹ́ fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan òjò rọ̀ òjò yẹn àbápọ̀ ju eléyìí lọ òjò yẹn ló kọ̀ sí ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe sọ àwa gan báyìí òjò tó rọ̀ lé ní ló ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rọ̀ gan báyìí kò dẹ̀ tóbi tó bẹ́ẹ̀ a dẹ̀ ní kankan àti ìgbì kankan ìwọ̀nba kan tí a ní sóko gbogbo ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti kó lọ ni wọ́n ti jí lọ màlúù wọn gan báyìí wọ́n wà nínú oko bá a ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí wọ́n wà nínú oko wa àwọn kan báyìí mo wá pé tó jẹ́ ṣáàmà ni wọ́n ní Àkúrẹ́ níjọ́sí wípé kó wá wo oko wa ó ti sọ pé òun bọ̀ ló sọ títí dè ní ó wá ṣáàmà ní ọ̀gá wọn gangan tó jẹ́ ọ̀gá wọn níbí ní ìmẹ̀rì níbí ó wá sí ilé mi gangan lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó wá sílé mi tí mo sọ pé mo fẹ́ fi oko àwọn ìgbìrà lọ hàn bí wọ́n ṣe bà oko ìgbìrà jẹ́ àtìgbà yẹn mi tiẹ̀ rí mọ́ kó tó wá di ìjẹrin tí mo wá lọ sóko tí mo tó wá bá wọn lóko ẹni tẹ́ pè tẹ́ bá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí òun ni mo kó bá mi pè ọ̀gá wọn ní Àkúrẹ́ kó bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ pé wàhálà ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí ó torí ẹni tí bá ti mú lóko mi nínú máa pátọ́ máa para mi kì í ìkan tí mo mì nìyẹn kó tó di pé ẹ tún wá gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tí ẹ gbé ní ọ̀sán yìí tó bá jẹ́ pé àárọ̀ la gbọ́ àbáná àbá pọ̀ gidi but nísìnyí ìwọ̀nba tí a rí báyìí ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn àgbẹ̀ Oǹdó ṣètì lélẹ́yìí o àwọn àgbà àtàwọn ìgbìrà àwọn gan ló pọ̀ sọ́dọ̀ mi gan báyìí ẹjọ́ ẹ gbà wá o Sunday Igboho kó gbà wá Sunday Igboho kó gbà wá kó tú wa sílẹ̀ nǹkan tí ta sọ nìyẹn o ẹjọ́ o.
ẹ wo ìdààmú ẹ wo fìtínà mo kí brọ́dà mi Láre Lámínà ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ ṣe gan ìyàwó Rúkàyà ọmọ òyìn mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa interactive platform ni keep the comment coming à ń kà á bó ṣe ń wọlé ní méjì mẹ́ta mo kí brọ́dà mi tó ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí Twitter space ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ̀ ń live in denial ẹ̀ ń ṣẹ́jú kúrò nǹkan sọ́nbẹ̀ yẹn ìyàn tẹ́mi lọ́rùn jẹ́ lọ bọ́ síbi tó ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀pọ̀n àti oyè yín ọ̀rọ̀ àlùfàǹṣá èyí tó bá wọn olúkálukú ló lè ṣe lóòótọ́ àmọ́ à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìran wa ẹ̀gbọ́tọ̀ ní Sunday Igboho gbà wá o ẹni kí Sunday Igboho kó gbà wá ṣèbí kágbẹ̀ bá lọ sóko ló máa rí ẹja mú wálé ló máa rí òkété mú wálé ló máa gbin ata ló máa gbin tòmátò ló máa gbin ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ló máa gbin iṣu wọ́n wá gbin iṣu ọ̀hún tán àwọn ló burúkú kan wá dé wá sọ di kíni mò ń bọ̀ wọ́n ti dé.
ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹ tún wá gbọ́ tuntun nílùú Ìlọ́ra ó gba àwọn tí ẹ ń wò yìí ọmọ bíbí ìlú Ìlọ́ra ni wọ́n àgbẹ̀ ni wọ́n àwọn kan ń bẹ tí wọ́n pè ní agro rangers àwọn agro rangers yìí láti inú civil defence ni wọ́n ti yọ wọ́n àwọn yẹn ni wọ́n rí sí àwọn àgbẹ̀ àti Fúlàní bí wọ́n bá fi màálù jẹko àbí nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ nípa àgbẹ̀ àti Fúlàní orúkọ yín àti tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gan-an ní pàtó.
orúkọ mi ni Awóyalé Samuel Olúyẹmí láti ìlú Ìlọ́ra níjẹta tí bàbá lọ sóko.
bàbá wo.
bàbá Pópóọlá Iyọlá bàbá lóko láti lọ nú ṣàkàṣù nínú oko wọn tó bàbá nígbà táwọn dóko àwọn ti bá àwọn Fúlàní nínú oko àwọn báwọn ti wá yọ lọ́ọ̀kan ní a bá ń sọ fáwọn pé àwọn pẹ́ ẹran àwọn àbápẹ́ ẹran pípa báwo ni wọ́n bá ń pèsè bí oògùn tí ìwọ́dà oko ni fúnra Fúlàní náà lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí ń sa oògùn tó bá dúró bí báyìí yóò sa oògùn tó bá bọ́ bẹ̀rù yóò sa oògùn ní sáà oògùn bàbá jà àwọn ò da oògùn sóko àwọn ọmọ kankan nípa oògùn ìyẹn ti ń sọ lọ́kọ̀ pẹ́ náà lọ́ba pe àwọn agbórinjà bá dé ìyẹn bá gbé bàbá ìyẹn àwọn tó wà ní Ọ̀yọ́ àtọ̀yọ́ ìyẹn ti wá gbé àwọn bàbá sí Ìbàdàn ìyẹn lánàá tó ibẹ̀ ní àwọn bàbá sùn lánàá títí tó fi dòní kó tó di pé gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ àgbẹ̀lọba bàbá ìyàwó àtàbúrò wọn amẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta bí ẹ ṣe gbé wọn nínú oko nù pé bàbá ní ọ̀dà ògùn sí inú oko
inú oko ta ni.
inú oko bàbá, inú oko kasu bàbá tó kọ ọlá iyọlá, inú oko bàbá gangan ni o. Ibùdó tí wọ́n sì jìnnà gidi sínú oko bàbá.
Inú oko bàbá.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Fúlàní sọ pé bàbá da oògùn sínú oko.
Fúnra Fúlàní nísìnyí wà ń sa oògùn àwọn oògùn tó ní ẹ̀ dà, òun náà ní ń sá. Ọwọ́ á ní kí bàbá máa tẹ̀lé wọn. Sẹ́ríkì yòyó.
Sẹ́ríkì yòyó nílùú lọ́ra bẹ́ẹ̀ náà.
Tó ń gbé ní abúlé ẹlẹ́mọ.
Wọ́n wá pe agro rangers, àwọn wá gbé bàbá, wọ́n wá ti bàbá mọ́lé.
Bàbá nìkan jẹ́ gbé, wọ́n gbé bàbá, wọ́n gbé ìyàwó wọn, wọ́n gbé àbúrò wọn.
Kí ló lọ kọ́ ìyàwó àti àbúrò wọn ṣe?
Bàbá mú ìyàwó wọn lóko, táwọn lọ ọ̀sà kaṣú wọn lọ ọ̀sà. Àbúrò bàbá náà lóko tiwọn náà, oko yẹn ò jìnnà síra wọn. Ẹ fẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ wọn oko ara wọn.
Inú oko tí Fúlàní dàbí inú oko bàbá?
Inú oko bàbá.
Náà mò ń gbọ́ yín yé, mo kàn fẹ́ jẹ́ kí àwọn inú oko bàbá. Bàbá kí ni ẹ̀sùn tí wọ́n fi kàn yín gbẹ̀dẹ̀ àbáwọn tí wọ́n tì yín mọ́lé sí wọn ṣe Yorùbá ni?
Yorùbá ni wọ́n.
Àwọn agro rangers wọ́n wá gbé yín.
Yorùbá ni wọ́n.
Wọn ò wá gbọ́ èdè yín. No, bóyá wọn ò gbọ́ èdè tẹ́ ń sọ.
Wọ́n gbọ́, wọn ò yá sí ni, wọ́n ti fún wọn lówó.
Ọjọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àwọn ti fún wọn lówó, mi ò jẹ́ wọn ṣiṣẹ́ tèmi.
Inú oko tẹ́ ẹ dá fúnra yín.
Mo kí brọ́dà mi Adékànyè Ọlọ́rẹ̀wájú, mo kí bàbá mi, wọ́n ní mo kí n ṣọ́bìnrin o, Koiki ọkùnrin ni mí, bàbá dáadáa Olúṣọlá Fátúà ṣe, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Mẹ́wàá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, triple DRS mo ti jí ẹlẹ́ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Bí wọ́n bá ń lọ bí iṣẹ́ náà gbọ́dọ̀ dìde ṣáá ni, àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé wà ní holiday tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́. Wọ́n ní iṣẹ́ lóògùn ìṣẹ́, ẹni bá ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa á rówó. Àwọn bàbá yìí ń ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa, wọ́n jẹ́ kó rí owó. Àgbẹ̀ máa ń lówó nílùú òyìnbó ni kò ń ṣe nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. These are all the atrocities tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n ní imagine Fulani chairman in Yoruba land. We are in danger. Ọdún kan tí Tinubu ti wọlé lélẹ́yìí, ó ní gbogbo ohun tí a wá ń sọ yìí, ó ní gbogbo ẹ̀ pátá ó ti níyanjú. I have resolved it. There is no more bleeding. Everywhere is fine. Yoruba land is good. Biafra land is fine. Hausa land is fine. Middle belt is okay. But ní Nasarawa, wọ́n ní àwọn kidnappers, kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ kidnapper. Kò ṣáà ń ṣe Yorùbá ló lọ pa businessman yìí. Wọ́n ní wọ́n pa látara pé wọ́n fẹ́ adopt ẹ̀, wọ́n náà wò nígbà. Wọ́n ní kàkà kílẹ̀ kó ṣú ilẹ̀ aṣá ni, àwọn máa pa ẹni, àwọn máa pààyàn ní. Ìwọ tó máa, àwọn fẹ́ jí ẹgbẹ́, ìwọ sọ pé ò nígbà, ó dín ẹran àmúso. Ìlọ́ra, ṣẹ́rí pé tí Lùgádì dá sílẹ̀ sí ìlú Ìlọ́ra, bó ṣe dá sílẹ̀ nílùú Ìlọ́ra, ó dá sí community tiẹ̀. Níbi tó ti ń sọ pé kò pọ́n ẹ́ lọ sínú abúlé ẹ̀, ìdọ̀tẹ̀mí ní Ìjẹ̀bú Òde ní Fìdípọ̀tẹ̀, kò síná, kò sí títì, development ò débẹ̀ láti bí 60 years. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? Ara ta ṣe ń sọ pé ẹ já kúrò nínú ràkàríkì, gbogbo ràkàràtì tá a wà nú ẹ̀ yìí. Ìdí tí bàbá Akíntóyè ṣe ní ọmọ mi, ẹ̀yin ọmọ mi, ẹ máa bá ń lọ sọ fún wọn pé ọ̀nà àbáyọ tí ó wà nílẹ̀ tí ààfin rí gbogbo wàhálà àti ìdààmú yìí, táwọn bàbá tí wọ́n ń sunkún sí wa lọ́rùn, tí wọ́n ń sọ pé òun ni ká ṣe kéde, òun ni ká padà ká bọ́ sínú Yorùbá independent country. Etí Lùgádì ò fẹ́, òun làwa fẹ́ ṣe yìí. Ìwọ tó bá ń sọ pé o fẹ́ kíkù Nàìjíríà, ó ṣì ń fi àdúrà Lùgádì lé ẹ lórí nìyẹn. O wá ń lọ sí church, o lọ ń ṣìṣẹ̀ṣe, o ń lọ sọ́dọ̀ mọ́ṣáláṣí, o dẹ̀ fẹ́ kíkù etí Lùgádì tó ṣe fáwọn British. Because for any Yoruba man that still want us to keep Nigeria, you are literally keeping what Lugard created. Any Nigerians, because wọ́n bí ẹ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Nigerians, Lugard ló fọ́ọ̀sì ẹ̀ lé wa lórí. You would have been an Igbo or Biafra, Hausa, until the fraudulent amalgamation that was forced on every one of us. So if you are still one of those that disagree for the Yoruba to be free, your people will continue to suffer. This is what the amalgamation has done, and this is what it is still doing. So whatever tẹ́ ń rí lẹ́nu táwọn ìlọ́ra yìí àwọn bàbá tẹ́ ń rí in tó ń fà is the fraudulent amalgamation of Nigeria. Gbogbo àìsàn tó ń ṣe is the amalgamation, because you cannot go to the hospital for a treatment. Láìgbẹ́ bá ń dùnyàn tó bá ti lo àgbo sí tó ṣiṣẹ́, the next thing is to go self-medication kan ló need. Ó jẹ́ kó scan ẹ̀gbẹ́ yẹn kó má jẹ́ pé o ti fi gbá nígbà tó fi wọ dánfó. Kó má yẹ pé ọ̀kadà ti là ẹ́ mọ́lẹ̀ rí níjọ́ kan rí tó rántí mọ́ lálẹ́ ó kọ̀ dìde. So injury ti wà nínú ẹ̀. Ó wá ń fi holy water. Èmi ò ní kò ṣiṣẹ́ but kọ́tẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ MIR scan but ó wà expectation tó tí ì jẹ́ dòdò yẹn fi dòdò níwọ̀n ẹ̀. Òun lélẹ̀. Ṣé wọ́n tó tí ì jẹun kánú? Lùgádì ló fa ìdí tó ò ṣe lè jẹun kánú gbogbo dòdò tó ń rí. Lùgádì ló fà. Lùgádì ló dá wàhálà yẹn sílẹ̀ táwa fi yanjú tó wá ń sọ fún wa pé kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kan sí ẹjẹ́ apara sọ́dọ̀ àwọn bàbá ìlọ́ra yìí kí n gbọ́ gbogbo íméèjì báyìí torí ó máa ń dákẹ́ máa rí àwọn íméèjì yìí táwọn bàbá tó ń sunkún yìí nísìn àwọn lè má ní understanding in tó mú wọ tó ti fi gbọ́ mi ìwọ ló máa wá lọ sọ fún àwọn bàbá yẹn pé ìdààmú tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí bàbá àkójọpọ̀ àwọn òyìnbó ní 1914 ó dẹ̀ ti expire kò ní ìjà nínú olúkálùkù máa dá ṣe tiẹ̀ àṣe Nàìjíríà mọ́ Nàìjíríà ọ̀mọ̀ wá òun lélẹ̀ man arrested after a personal trainer was stabbed in Bournemouth. Wọ́n stab ara wọn ju kí ló dálẹ̀ lọ nílùú òyìnbó. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wa kọ́kọ́ lọ àwọn tó máa stab ní ṣàlẹ̀. À ń pariwo lọ́tún lọ́sì. À ń ní Nàìjíríà yóò gbè wá. Àwọn ìlú ìlọ́ra ti kígbe síta. Wọ́n ní Sunday Igboho gbà wá o. Sunday Igboho gbà wá. Bàbá Akíntóyè gbà wá. Tó bá wá ní wọ́n tí gbọ́ Yorùbá nation iṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ nísìn ni pé nígbà tí wọ́n ti gbọ́ lọ ṣàlàyé fún wọn. Triple DRS nìkan ló sọ pé àmì pé Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kó stab àwọn ọmọ wa bí àwọn tó kù lọ́mọ nílùú òyìnbó bí àtọ́rí mo ní UK Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ stab ọmọ yín ní France Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ stab ọmọ yín ní European country Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó fìbọn pa ọmọ yín l'Amẹ́ríkà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà náà Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí Fúlàní jí ẹ gbé kó báyàwó ẹ̀ sùn lóṣojú ẹ̀ wà mọ bó ṣe rí lára. A ní ẹjẹ́ àjọ fọwọ́ kún ká get the hell out of the shit hole country. Ẹ má bínú mo wá níjọ àwọn ọlọ́ra yìí dé ní fẹ́ play ibi tó kù. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Kò kàn mí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá òun ló ń lọ lọ́nkàn yẹn. 1 year tí Tinubu ti wà lórí oyè. Wọ́n ní Ṣeun Ọ̀kínbalóyè please stop pretending call them their name imported Fulani terrorists by the chief of Commander Buhari Muhammadu Buhari olórí burúkú sí bàbá. Mo kí wa lẹ́ǹkan sí pé ẹ mà ṣe káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa ẹ má bínú pọ́npẹ́ pé fídíò tí mò ń wá yẹn àwọn bàbá ẹ̀ mo mọ̀ bí tí mo ṣọwọ́ ẹ̀sẹ̀ again ìlú Ìlọ́ra lórí tó wá ń pẹ́ báyìí ká gbọ́wọ́lé ká gbọ́bi tó kù tán rẹ́rẹ́ ń rílẹ̀ Yorùbá gbogbo àwọn bàbá tó yẹ kó ní owó burúkú tó yẹ kíyàn máa lọ yáwó lọ́wọ́ wọn pé bàbá ẹ sáré yá mi ní 10,000 pounds má dá padà láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ mẹ́ta kébì náà sáré lọ fi ṣòwò fámà máa ń ní owó ni gbogbo àwọn farmers tèmi mọ̀ nílùú òyìnbó owó burúkú ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ wọn kò ń ṣe nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ìyà ìṣẹ́ òun ló ti mú àwọn tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa. How do we respond to it is to exit this crazy contraction called Nigeria. Ìwà ni fídíò ìwà kẹ̀ ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yìn wa ó kúkú wà níbẹ̀ but sometimes because we have too many things èmi nìkan lẹ́nu mo dá ṣe so I have to look for the video mo then scroll up okay mo ti rí now let's play the part of the video and make my mic again mo mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ báyìí ẹ má ní láti rójú tèmi ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo problem tó ń fèsì Nàìjíríà lẹ́nìí tó ń fèsì ilẹ̀ Yorùbá precisely tí a fi ń complain òun ni amalgamation ṣé gbogbo àwọn bàbá tó ń complain amalgamation bí ẹ lọ ṣe tí 2 minutes 36 seconds ló kù lórí fídíò tá a fi wò yìí tí mi àti fẹ́ jiná lórí iná nígbà yẹn mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí aago 6 ti lọ lù béèyàn bá ń lọ bí iṣẹ́ gan tó bá sì wà nínú ilé lẹ́yìn táìmù yìí tí train dẹ̀ máa kúrò nínú ilé ẹ ní 10:06 tó ti jáde nílé ọlọ́màjẹ omi sì tírẹ̀nì ìlú òyìnbó nǹkan ló ní táìmì. Bàbá mi san òde òmùkí triple DRS brọ́dà mi dáadáa tó kù tọ́jú níjọ́ Friday ní birthday ní owó ní kẹ́ fi ṣe ìyíkẹ́ ní kẹ́ fi kí mi àti àdúrà òkúṣẹ́ takuntakun Koiki £100 nìyẹn £1,000 onídòwó láti fi ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe. Lóhùn sókè ẹ̀yin bàbá ìlọ́ra ọba Elédùmarè bá wà pẹ̀lú yín.
éka mẹ́ta àbọ̀ ni oko kájú yan éka mẹ́ta àbọ̀.
ṣé tó bá tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ńlẹ̀ lẹ́tí ẹ̀ fi ìsọ́ sínú oko yín náà ṣé ẹ̀ tó bẹ̀ láti sọ oko yín ni. Fúlàní wá wánú oko yín òun ni wà ń sa oògùn káàkiri tí èsè pé wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n mú yín kúrò nínú oko kan lè ráyè ṣe ohun tó wù wọ́n.
Tí a bá ti ṣe báwọn àwọn agbófinró ni wọ́n wà máa fi dẹ́rù bà wá wọ́n sọ pé tí màálù bá ti kú wọ́n máa lásán wọ́n.
Kọ̀sọ́nù mẹ́fún wa láti mágídí tàbí dáhùn àgbòkú tàǹdà wọ́n ti fẹ́ lù wá kú olùkú pátápátá wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbọ́ ogun mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ lára pátápátá wọn ò bí adákú mọ́.
Nílẹ̀ bàbá yín náà. Nílùú ọ̀rá náà.
Wọ́n gbà wá o. Ẹ dákun gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n gbà wá o. Àwa kan bẹ ìyá àbẹjọ olókèrè láti lọ́ra lóko mi. Àwa kan bẹ títí kí yòyó títí gbé àwọn òrí àwa pa àwọn padà jí àwa gbé. Kò sí ibi iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá tèmi lọ tèmi sọ. Kò síbi tí mo lọ tèmi sọ o. Àwa bí méjì kan bẹ tẹ́tí fọ́kọ̀ sí pé àwa nìṣòro àwọn olùlọ́ra. Bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn sì fẹ́ pàwọ́ àwọn òrí wa pa àfútà bá jí agbé. Gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àti kọmíṣánná fún agri kẹ́dà fẹ́ gbà wá. Kọmíṣánná ọlọ́pàá ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ gbà wá o. Ẹgbẹ́lẹ́ ní káfọ́rù rán àwọn láti nílẹ̀ wá gbà wọ́n lálejò ní àsìkò wọ́n mọ̀ dùn orílẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá gbà ilé kí wọ́n dúró sí a lọ sílé kábíyèsí lọ́dún tí ọdún yìí wọ́n sọ pé kẹ́mọ̀ darí wọnú oko wa mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n bíbá pé agbára tó kó agbára fún wọn ni bá a ti tún bẹ níbi tó wà látàárọ̀ wọ́n tún pẹ̀pẹ̀ bàbá tí ẹ ti mọ̀lẹ́ wọ́n tún wú ẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀ fẹ́ràn ní ọ̀sán yìí lẹ́yìn ìgbà wọ́n tún pẹ̀ nìkan pé kí ni páìpù epo pupa ti ṣe wọ́n ti wá wọ́n ti gé dàálẹ̀ wọ́n tún pẹ̀ nìkan wípé wọ́n ti tún wú ẹ̀gẹ̀ tiẹ̀ dàálẹ̀ bá a ti bẹ níbi tá à ń bẹ ní secretariat látàárọ̀ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dákẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe sàárà o ẹni tí wọ́n bá dájú fọ́ọ̀mù fún wa ìdákẹ́ pèsè fọ́ọ̀mù olùlọ́ra o iṣẹ́ oko láti àdíléeṣẹ́ o àdíléeṣẹ́ àdísùkú gíga o ẹ̀sánú wa ọmọ Nàìjíríà.
Ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀súnmọ́ bí ẹ sọ̀rọ̀.
Ní ọjọ́ kẹrìnlá oṣù kẹta yìí ni wọ́n jẹ oko tèmi ní agogo 8 alẹ́ ni mo dà lóko tí mo sì tírèsì màálù àṣàbí títí tí mo fẹ́ dé bùdó ntí ó sì jẹ́ kí n yọjú sí bùdó ni pé tí àṣàdébé fojú kàn mí yọ gbẹ̀mí mi ni èmi nìkan mo sì wà lóko ń jọ.
Àbáyẹn ni yóò gbẹ̀mí òun ni ibi tílẹ̀ Yorùbá délé mi náà nìyẹn náà bá ti ń gbẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn wa ṣẹ̀rípò dà bẹ́ẹ̀ ìyẹn la ṣe ń pariwo pé èmi náà ti lọ ṣe kọ́fì tẹ̀ ni mo wá fi mu láàárọ̀ ẹ rántí kọ́fì tí mo fi wọ̀nyí lórí live show ní lálẹ́ àná àbí ìrọ̀lẹ́ àná dẹ̀ ni kọ́fì yẹn ni mo ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí ìwọ náà tó bá ń gbádùn báyìí kò pọ̀ jù ẹ̀yin náà ṣe kọ́fì tẹ máa fi jógẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìyá mi Fáńgbémi lékè wọ́n ní shameless gómìnà babadẹ́ni tó bá fẹ́ pè wọlé nọ́mbà láìní ẹ̀wọ̀ available ẹ lè pè wọlé a ṣe ń bẹ́tò lọ àṣẹwọnú 1 hour 29 minutes ẹ̀yin náà wọlé kẹ́ ẹ lọ ṣe tíì ìwádẹ́jẹ́ pé wíṣkì lẹ máa fi mú láàárọ̀ yìí kọfì débẹ̀ ó ti tójọ́ mẹ́ta tí mo ti mu kọfì Fúlàní àwọn dáràn now ṣé ní gbogbo tí mo fi ń wọ̀n wáyé mo kàn ń jẹ́ kó yé wa pé wọ́n yẹ ní Tinubu ti lò ní ọ́fíìsì kò tí ì rí gbogbo ilé tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lẹ̀ kò ń ṣe nígbà Buhari mo pa àwọn fídíò tá a fi ń wọ̀nyí nígbà tí Tinubu ti dórí oyè ni o you would expect this government to protect our people. Okay, ẹni ẹ̀fẹ̀ Yorùbá nation. Why is the government not protecting the people? Àfi kí Ṣèyí Mákindé máa wá olóyè Ìgbòho. Àbí? Adẹ̀ ń sọ Fẹ́mi Adésínà àbí oníbótáì. Àwọn oníbótáì irọ́. À ń sọ fún yín pé Nàìjíríà yóò work. Wọ́n ń drag wa padà sẹ́yìn bọ̀ tún fẹ́ mú another video jáde ni àní tó pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ṣé ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ṣé ká gbọ́ àwọn ní constitution because the reason why tí Tinubu ò ṣe tí orí kankan ṣe maybe you don't know it's the constitution the 1999 fraudulent constitution tí Tinubu fẹ́ fi ṣèjọba kò lè work so ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ àwọn constitution talk yẹn díẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká dọ̀gbọ̀ díẹ̀ àní tó pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ bàbá mi Adégoróyè Ọ̀pẹ́yẹmí Àdìsá ní this is the high time for the Yoruba to know that Nigeria is not for us one ní fẹ́ gbọ́ èèyàn kan ti sọ níbí rẹ̀ wọ́n ní Mr. Koiki our people Mr. Lade púpọ̀ ní our people àwọn wo ni people àwọn ìran Yorùbá they are gullible ẹ lọ sórí social media nísìnyí ní kẹ́ má defend Tinubu ọdún mẹ́ta ló kù tó ní máì tí sọdún mẹ́rin kankan tó máa ṣe lọ ní 2031 kò tí garanti 2031 ó kọ̀ garanti 2027 ikú òde nípa torí tó bá kú Ṣètìmá gbàjọba ní èmi ìgbàdúrà kó fún un máa ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ torí Tinubu bá pa Ṣètìmá gbàjọba nìyẹn ó máa drag wa padà sẹ́yìn àmọ́ Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣe country it's a failed country ìlú òfò ìlú tó ń mú ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn abẹ́rẹ́ bó ṣe ń sùn níbí wa mo ní Tinubu wake up jẹ́ fi fídíò picture wọn after máa sùn ni tó bá mọ̀ pé ò lè ṣe kí ló lọ gba ọ́fíìsì yẹn fún àrùn ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni àrùn ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wo ló náà fẹ́ ṣe wake up ní sùn jí má sùn ẹ bá ń jí bàbá ẹ̀ ó ti lo ọdún kan ẹ bá mi jí tí pé asọ̀rọ̀ kò bá gbé ẹni kó padà wá sílé kájọ wá ṣe Yorùbá nation tí asọ̀rọ̀ kò bá gbé Tinubu tó ń sùn lójoojúmọ́ ẹ bá mi jí pé kó máa padà bọ̀ nílé wá ṣe recognize as president bí wọ́n ṣà recognize MK Abiola kọ́dọ̀ fọ́hún kẹ́ wọ́n ṣà ti recognize ẹ̀ pé president tó jẹ ni á dẹ̀ máa gba gbogbo àwọn ọmọ àwọn máa gba gbogbo àláwáǹsì so Tinubu eléyìí tó ń sùn nínú asọ̀rọ̀ kí tó mọ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí máa bọ̀ nílé padà kò tí ì late bó tó bá ní òní wálé àwa náà ní fẹ́ lọ́rùn lẹ̀ ànífẹ́ lọ́rùn lẹ̀ àjọ máa tá tán ni torí pé ọmọ tó ní ìyá wọn ò ní sùn òun kò ní fojú kan ohun ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ tó bá ṣe ń sùn a máa jí ẹ wake up jí má sùn ọmọ tó ń sùn tó máa ń sùn tó bá ti káàkiri jí má sùn ẹ fún ní kọfí kó mu ẹ lè ta nǹkan sínú kọfí tiẹ̀ náà wake up wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn wọ́n ń jí àwọn èèyàn gbé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ní o ti fún wa ní Yorùbá Inspector General of Police ààrí nǹkan kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gunsling náà ní òun náà ṣe lọ gba kọfí ni ó máa ń jẹ́ kára dúró dáadáa ni mo kí gbogbo yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ bá mi jí Tinubu ó ti sùn because ìdí tá a ṣe fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà Tinubu náà wọ́n fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ó ní Nàìjíríà yìí máa gbé gbogbo wa ṣé mò ń parọ́ ni ẹ mọ̀ pé àwa ní evidence Tinubu dẹ̀ sọ fún gbogbo wa pé òun ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ nẹ̀ ẹ sọ fún Tinubu kó wake up Koiki please let him sleep that is how he's been sleeping no kò gbọ́dọ̀ sùn mọ́ Tinubu wake up now jí má sùn oorun tó sùn látọdún kan gbogbo nǹkan ti bàjẹ́ inflation ẹja padà sí bíbá kódà food inflation ó ti wà ní 24.82 kí ló dé kaláṣẹ bàbá Tinubu mo ní kó wake up ẹ sọ fún Tinubu pé kó wake up o ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá mọ Tinubu ẹ sọ fún pé mo ní kó jí kó má sùn oorun tó ń sùn yìí ti pọ̀ jù bàbá Tinubu mo ní nǹkan lélẹ̀ bàbá Tinubu wake up àrùn jẹjẹ kò sí security kò sí títì ẹ wá náà fẹ́ ṣe kó ẹ tí parí Lagos Ìbàdàn expressway èyí tó yẹ kó kọ́kọ́ ṣe nìyẹn ó wá fẹ́ ṣe coastal road láti Lagos sí Calabar kíní kan wà àti Calabar ṣé ọmọ Calabar ni wà ní wake up ẹ sọ fún bàbá ìkó wake up tó o bá wake up máa fi spoon sí ẹ lẹ́nu wake up máa wọ́n mi sí ẹ lójú bó ṣe máa ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá sùn ẹ jẹ́ àgbékọ́ fún mi sẹ́yìn kí n má lọ dá sórí laptop torí àǹtí ìrówó rà mí báyìí ẹ sọ fún Tinubu pé kó wake up Tinubu wá ní oníkóìkì oníwọ̀n náà ṣọ́tọ̀ tèbí mo ti sọ fún àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re kí ló sọ fún wọn ó ní mo ti rán ẹ sáwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re mo ti rán àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re sí kílẹ̀ nígbà wo nìyẹn oníṣòfin náà rí news yẹn ṣèbí journalist ló pe rẹ̀ mo ti rán àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re sí ẹ kílẹ̀ wá sọ fún wọn sà ó tún máa bí mi ni mo ti rán àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re sí ẹ mo ti ní kó bá mi jíṣẹ́ fún ẹ mo kò yé mi ní dádì kílẹ̀ sọ mo ní mo rán àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re sí ẹ pé kó bá mi jíṣẹ́ fún ẹ pé ibi tó ń palẹ̀ Yorùbá lénìí gbogbo àìsàn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ Yorùbá lénìí gbogbo ẹ̀ pátápátá mo máa níyànjú sí lágo mélòó sà èèyàn yìí ti ń pọ̀ ju àwọn èèyàn róúnjẹ jẹ ó kù díẹ̀ ní gbogbo wọn máa róúnjẹ jẹ jẹ́ ń ṣe sùn díẹ̀ sí àmọ́ èyí tí Tinubu sọ fáwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re.
What we face now is challenges of terrorism, security of lives and property that is very, very necessary for development and good results. And we have been battling that. I can tell you this afternoon that we are achieving success. There's improvement from hosting flags on the Nigerian properties and sovereignty. We have degraded terrorism to a level that they could not threaten the sovereignty of this country any longer. Well, it is always hard.
Kí ni mo gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá Tinubu ẹ ti parọ́ o you've told lies. Kí ni mo gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ dáadáa. You have degraded terrorism that they cannot attack Yoruba farmers. Ṣé kí n tún play lọ́ra fún yín kẹ́ gbọ́? Are you sure that you are being updated about the security situation? Because there was a bomb blast in Ibadan, January 25th. There's multiple terrorism attack on the Yoruba land. Mokelare Lamina. Baba, you pardon now. You don't have any human sympathy. You are lying. Eba mi get in voting soon. Wake up. You are telling lies. Ní kí n lọ gbọ́ ìtàwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re sọ òun náà ni mo dẹ̀ gbọ́ lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí wọ́n rí ta kí ni gbogbo jágbàjàgbà tẹ̀ ń sọ lẹ́nu. 1 year in office, there is nothing to be proud of with this your shit hole government. 1 year in office. Àbí kí ni àbí mo gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ dáadáa ni. Ṣé mo gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ dáadáa ni. Triple DRS ni mad people, why are they clapping? Ẹ mọ̀ pé bàbá yẹn ti dàgbà àwọn tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ olè làwọn yẹn. Àwọn yẹn wá bó ṣe máa jalè lọ́dún mélòó ní Tinubu fẹ́ rí department mélòó ló fi monitor ìgbọ́kọ̀ máa gbójú kúrò ní olè gbà. So when we are here saying to you that this country is dragging us backwards, Tinubu ní go and listen to what I told Afenifere. Ẹ̀wọ̀n náà ni mo ti ń gbọ́ nísìnyí, but I'm not saying anything there. All I can say is that it's not hard enough. It's not hard enough. Kò hard up. Àbí nìkan ni mò ń wà lórí program yìí. Tinubu is not hard enough now. Ìwọ náà ló ní kí n lọ gbọ́n kan tí o sọ pẹ̀lú àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re. I am listening. Àwọn èèyàn ti kí ebi níbí ìbàdí mọ̀ kí wọ́n dáadáa. Agbájé Wàsíù Fẹ́mi, good morning. Mr. Adeniyi Adejubril mo fi ti Ọbẹ̀lẹ́dùmarè kí yín. Mr. Dekunle Rahman ó ní ọlọ́run Ọbẹ̀lẹ́dùmarè á fún wa ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa. There is no doubt about it. Mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa. Ẹ bá gbọ́ wọlé share button, kẹ́ love, kẹ́ like, kẹ́ comment. Tí wọn náà bó bá rí coffee mu ó lè mú ògì. At least ògì ló cheap jù nílé nísìn. Àgbàdo dẹ̀ ni wọ́n jẹ́ kí ó grow ní gbogbo farmers. Tinubu oníkìngbọ́ ìtókù kódà ẹ̀yà mute mic ọ̀hún bọ̀.
To defeat economic opportunity that might open up in this type of challenges. But
bàbá yẹn parọ́ tó pọ̀ ó ní economic yẹn náà láti ń wò láti ìgbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ program yìí òun lélẹ́yìí wọ́n ní exchange rate lọ sókè mú kí ẹni Ọládéwálé Olúwaṣeun mú kí àwọn tó ń ṣe dáìdè èmi náà kújọ́ bíi mélòó kan owó àtàdúrà nìkẹ́ fún mi. Tinubu inflation ti lọ sókè láti 22.41% ó gòkè by 33.69 that's about 31% increase. Tinubu GDP growth wa is 2.51. Ẹ sọ fún Tinubu kó wake up o. Bámidélé Aliyu is 1 year in office is like hell in Nigeria. Mo kí àwọn prophet mi Amure wọ́n ní good morning Mr. Koiki àdúrà yẹn á máa gbà sẹ́. Mo ní ká yé bú Kristẹni àti Mùsùlùmí ẹ jẹ́ ayé búra wa. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká jẹ́ kí àwọn tí wọ́n fi da ìrìn àjò lérú kọ́ máa fi ẹ̀sìn kọ́ máa fi tìbọ̀ láàrin méjì ìjẹ̀sìn kọ́ la gbé dání ìjẹ́ bí ń pa wá bí ẹ̀rí dòdò tí mo fi síbẹ̀ látẹ̀ǹkan òun lélẹ̀ yìí Tinubu ṣòrí dòdò táwọn tèmi jẹ lálẹ́ àná ni ó sì kúrú kíchìn mò ń jẹ́ tán òun lélẹ̀ yìí ebi ń pa àwọn èèyàn Tinubu Jagaban ebi ń pa wá ebi ń pa wá Jagaban àwọn Yorùbá dẹ̀ believe in you èmi ò believe in you mo sorry ọmọ ó pé wà negotiate pẹ̀lú wa that's all èmi ò believe in you àwọn tó believe in you wọ́n ti dìbò fún ẹ ní last year gbogbo wọn dẹ̀ lọ ń ṣépè nísìn mo wo Yèyé Dára lánàá ìyá kan ní kò ní dá fún Tinubu èmi kọ́ mo sọ ìyá yẹn ló sọ lánàá ẹ lọ wo program Yèyé Dára tó ṣe lánàá lára àwọn fídíò wọn tó máa ẹ mọ̀ pé mi sọ pé mi mọ̀ bó ṣe ń join àwọn fídíò yẹn but analysis èmi mọ̀ nípa yẹn bọ̀ ká gbé fídíò ká join ẹ̀ ká sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí èmi ò mọ̀ pa ẹ̀ bọ̀ pé ká ṣe analysis báyìí èmi mọ̀ pa yẹn Tinubu wake up ẹ bá mi jí bàbá Jagaban oorun tó sùn ní ti tó ọdún kan lẹ ti ṣe tó ò bá wọ̀ ẹ máa bọ̀ nílé àánífẹ̀ẹ́ yín àmọ̀ pé ti try ẹ jẹ́ àjọ wá ṣe Yorùbá nation ẹ sọ fún gbogbo àwọn gómìnà bá ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ́ ẹ fún Sọ́tànù Sókótó kó máa gbé Àbújá lọ gbọ́tẹ́ bá wá sọ pé kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí social media yìí àámú kan lẹ̀ lórí social media tí gbogbo àjọ wà yìí a ṣe kí ni àámú kan nílẹ̀ wàláì tàlá ṣe wọ́n bí láì láti láhùwà gbogbo àjọ máa mú kan nílẹ̀ torí pé ìyà ò lè máa jẹ àwọn èèyàn wa ká má lè pariwo síta bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ gan máa bínú sí wa bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ gan máa bínú pé Koiki ó dà pé ó mú lẹ sí wíńdò ẹ mú àlàáfíà wọlé díẹ̀ ẹ bá mi jí Tinubu ẹ sọ fún Jagaban pé kó dìde ebi ò lè máa pa àwọn èèyàn wa kémi máa rí dòdò àti dòdò jẹ àtẹjà àtọbẹ̀ ata kí wọ́n sọ pé kò kàn mí àwọn kan wà lábúrọ̀dù wọ́n ní kò kàn àwọn ó kàn èmi ó mú mi nígbà àyàgàn sef Tinubu wake up ní tó ń sọ yóò yé mi èyí bí wọn là ń rí iná ó ní security àti play video bíi security mẹ́ta tó ń ṣe last year àbí bàbá yóò ọ̀dà ẹ̀jẹ̀ tún mélòó jáde ẹ má tí ì jẹ́ ká kúrò lórí tí Tinubu ń sọ yìí because ọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu yóò fi yé mi ọdún kan ló ti wà lórí oyè gbogbo tó ń sọ yìí kò hard up Tinubu Jagaban of Bodilo ẹ bá mi pè Ṣèyí Tinubu wọlé ẹni tó bá ní nọ́mbà Ṣèyí Tinubu ẹ bá mi ju fídíò sínú inú WhatsApp message èmi ò ní nọ́mbà lọ́wọ́ mo dẹ̀ ní láti ní Tinubu ó parọ́ náà òun lélẹ́yìí evidence lélẹ́yìí òwe bí náà nìyẹn náà ní March 23rd ọdún yìí Vanguard paper Nàìjíríà ni kí ló sọ ó ní 6,931 people àwọn wo ni people náà mélòó ni Yorùbá tó kú nínú ẹ̀ lábẹ́ láfẹ́fẹ́ month ẹni kí Tinubu dìde wake up ẹ fi ránṣẹ́ sáwọn media team ẹ̀ ní Aso Rock pé Tinubu ń parọ́ àná nísìn wọn ní kò ní sọ̀rọ̀ ìgbà tí máa jí láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ Anjuri ìyẹn náà ní òun mọ tí Báyọ̀ Ọ̀nànúgà bàbá òfò yẹn gbogbo wọn they are all the same tọ́ba wá ṣe tán nísìn ẹ lọ wo èyí tó ṣiṣẹ́ fún Yomi Ọ̀ṣínbàjò ó ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní channels nísìn ẹ fẹ́ lè má dà mọ̀ pé eléyìí ló jẹ́ agbẹnusọ fún Yẹmí Ọ̀sínbàjò ibo ni Yẹmí Ọ̀sínbàjò wà báyìí nísìn short man devil criminal ní gbogbo wọn olóṣèlú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wà lẹ́nu gbogbo wọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ wà lẹ́nu wọn Ọlọ́run máa ṣèdájọ́ fún gbogbo yín gbogbo ìkàtẹ́ṣe fún wa tẹ́ ẹ̀ jẹ́ kí aráyé gbé Ọlọ́run máa ṣèdájọ́ fún yín Tinubu wọn ní kò wake up ó ní kò sí terrorism ó ní security gbogbo ẹ ti dúró dáadáa but you are telling lies ẹja gbọ́bi tó kù ní bọ́mù tìde.
Particularly when the country is equally challenged economically. So, the banditry kidnapping that they've resorted into will also be defeated.
Tinubu àwọn olóń pàtẹ́wọ́ ń bẹ àbí kò fi yẹ gbogbo tẹ̀ ń pàtẹ́wọ́ níbẹ̀ yẹn gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ̀ ń pàtẹ́wọ́ nínú bẹ̀ yẹn àbí kò fi yẹ yín ni àtẹ́wọ́ òfò lẹ̀ ń pa àtẹ́wọ́ òfò ṣé wọ́n ti jẹ́ àwọn ọmọ yín gbé ni àbí wọ́n ti pa àtúnú àwọn ọmọ yín àbátẹ́wọ́ òfò lẹ̀ ń pa ẹni lè tó tẹ̀ máa pàtẹ́wọ́ àwọn olẹ́jọ́ ń pàtẹ́wọ́ fúnra yín you are telling lies Jagaban ó ti dẹni tó ń parọ́ àdèmẹ́sẹ̀ tó ń parọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ bọ́ ó kọ̀ jẹ́ kó yé wa pé ìwọ náà ló fẹnu ara ẹ sọ níbí báyìí ó ní I don't believe in one Nigeria ó ti parọ́ náà ẹlẹ́nu méjì nìyẹn ìwọ kan náà ló sọ fún wa pé you don't believe in one Nigeria ìwọ náà ló tún believe in one Nigeria èwo ni ká lò òun méjèèjì Jagaban Jagaban President Bola ìwọ náà ló sọ ó ní I don't believe in one Nigeria ó ní one Nigeria ó lè ní. Ó ti wá débẹ̀ tán nísìn 1 year in office lẹ́nìí níta máa jọ múlẹ̀ kò ní tán bẹ̀ àjọ máa mú délẹ̀ ní lórí social media sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ la wá a máa bẹ́ẹ̀ join ní gbogbo ẹ̀ tó máa fi yé àwọn yìí ṣẹ̀rí àwọn tó sọ pé kò yé wa o kò yé wa o ẹ sì máa jáde ní wòwò gan èyí ìyá tẹ̀ ń sọ pé ẹ máa ṣépè fún ọ̀rọ̀ ìpè kọ́lé ẹ máa jáde gan ní wòwò tẹ máa jáde ní wòwò ọmọlúwàbí tẹ máa lọ jókòó síwájú governor's office pé kí ló dé tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá tẹ́ ẹ̀ fẹ́ Yorùbá nation ṣé kíyà máa jẹ yín ni ó dá ẹ̀ fẹ́ Yorùbá nation agree bó ṣe kíyà máa jẹ yín no ìbọn la sọ fún yín federal government fresh borrowing driven debt to 97.3 trillion èmi kọ́ ni mo kọ pépà yìí mo kí ọmọ Odùduwà Media TV èèyàn ti Koiki Media mo kí Prophet Amúrè Olúṣọlá olówó kéré owó yẹn á máa pọ̀ sí ni wọ́n ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá iléyá kò ń ṣe iléyá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yàn lè rẹran mọ́ nísìn ẹlòmíì adìyẹ ló máa ní kọ́ ṣàbáwọn pa ẹlòmíì ẹja ló máa ní kọ́ báwọn pa tó bá ń wo dòdò yẹn máa fa wọ́n gbé wọnú ilé ní tèmi jẹ lálẹ́ àná nìyẹn ní tí mo jẹ sùn nìyẹn òun ló wò yẹn ó dárẹ́ẹ̀tì kò dárẹ́ẹ̀tì ní tí mo jẹ sùn nìyẹn mo dẹ̀ mú mi lé lórí Jagaban má bẹ́ẹ̀ jà ọ́ mo ní owó kọ̀ ẹ̀jà gbọ́n tó kù tó sọ.
I declined any ransom method, no payment of ransom whatsoever. We are taking the.
Kò lè kàn wọ́ àwọn ọmọ tó pa ní Kogi kọ́lọ̀ bá àfọ̀mù kí àwọn ọmọ yẹn àwọn òbí wọn ló lè ní understanding tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Màá kàn fi àwòrán àwọn ọmọ yẹn wọ̀nyí ní play video yẹn mo bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ àjọ gbogbo títí inú ti bí mi gbogbo títí Tinubu sọ irọ́ ẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù tí ọba ti ń parọ́ báyìí ẹ bá ń sọ fún Tinubu àwọn ọmọ tó pa ní Kogi nìyẹn kò ń ṣe banditry o àwọn ọmọ tí fúlà ẹsẹ̀ wọn lè rí yẹn ní play video yẹn tó bá fẹ́ wọ̀ ẹ́ lọ sórí Twitter mi tó ń pè ní X ẹ̀ bá níbẹ̀ mo mọ̀ nílé play fún yín because it is a little bit graphic but mo lè fẹ́ ẹsẹ̀ wọn wọ̀nyí àwọn ọmọ tẹ́ rí yẹn nísìnyẹn méjèèjì tó sùn yẹn wọ́n art movie o inú yunifásitì wọn o lè nírọ́ ni mò ń pa torí gbogbo yín ẹ̀ kì í fẹ́ òtítọ́ àwọn ká máa parọ́ fún ilẹ̀ kúkú máa ń fẹ́ sọjá lọ sí Kogi students channels television kúkú ní ẹgbẹ́ believe channels òun lélẹ́yìí wọ́n ní Confluence University àwọn méjèèjì tẹ̀ ń rí wọ́n ti di kíni wọ́n ti dolóògbé wọ́n ti gbẹ̀mí kúrò lára wọn tí dẹ̀ jẹ́ kó ṣì wà láyé ẹ wá sọ pé ọlọ́run ò ní ṣe kò ní ṣèkà fẹ́yìn náà. These are the students. A lè play video yẹn tó bá fẹ́ wò lọ sórí page mi màá tún retweet ẹ̀ so á wà lókè lọ wò níbẹ̀. Agbájẹ́wà sí ó ní good morning lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Koiki mú kí ẹ. Máa sọ pé make I dey play. Ó dà pé dòdò yẹn blọ́ọ̀kì kò jẹ́ kẹ́ rí jẹ́ reduce dòdò yẹn díẹ̀. Màá reduce ẹ̀ má worry mo lè reduce ẹ̀ ní ọ̀ṣẹ́ problem. Mo fẹ́ kó rí tí mo fẹ́ kó rí náà ni. Tí bá fẹ́ kẹ́ rí nǹkan dáadáa mi ṣe máa ń lo software. Ṣó ti rí nísìnyí tó clear bí àṣà Yorùbá wòye tó ti ń clear àbí kò tí clear tó. Àwọn méjì yìí náà wà láyé nígbà tí ọdún yìí bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n ní ọdún lọ sópin o bàbá rere fi iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ sọ wá o tọkọtọmọ ohun tó pa wá lẹ́kùn wò lọ́dún tuntun má jẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa o bàbá rere má jẹ́ káwọ́ lórí sunkún má jẹ́ fàṣọ ọ̀fọ̀ búra ogun rọ́jú mu rọ́jú jẹ má má jẹ́ ó jẹ́ ti tèmi àlàáfíà tó pé ni mo fẹ́ bàbá fi ṣe fún mi. Ṣé mo try? Àwọn náà iná kọrin yẹn àwọn ìyá wọn kọrin àwọn ìyá wọn ṣàdúrà. Ṣó rò pé wọ́n nìkan ló ń ṣe prayer nínú Nàìjíríà? Ìyá mi mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ ó ní kí n má bu yín mọ́ ó yẹ kí n fi nǹkan lé lórí fún yín bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Màá ní dey play màá rò wo ìlú yìí òkú tó wà nílùú yìí ojú ti Nàìjíríà lọ ẹ̀dá fi Tinubu ilẹ̀ ló bọ̀ wake up Tinubu ohun tó ń sún yẹn ti pọ̀ jù. Màá fi kankan wọ̀nyí nísìn ẹ má rò pé bóyá bí ṣe máa ń condemn Nàìjíríà crime tó ń bẹ ní UK mo sọ fún yín pé ojú ti Nàìjíríà lọ torí page tó ń wò yìí torí nǹkan tó kọ síbẹ̀ London crime and UK crime. Ẹgbọ́n wọn lọ sọ London crime and UK crime but BBC ò ní sọ fún ẹ follow mi pẹ̀lú page within the last 24 hours pro-Palestinian protesters have surrendered House of Parliament. Parliament tó kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ òun làwọn èyí ti ń protest lánàá. Àwọn ní Palestinian àti Israel ti pa àwọn ọ̀nà rẹpẹtẹ. Whatever your take on o support Israel ni o support Palestine ni o humanity first. Israel ò lè pa 30,000 people káwá dákẹ́ kò possible. Ṣàkọ́ mo kí ẹ ó ní kò ní sú mi Koiki kò dẹ̀ ní rẹ̀mí náà lágbára Olódùmarè kò kí ń rẹ odò ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ ní mú òun mi lọ. Máa sọ pé make I dey play sórí ní UK crime tó ń bẹ ní bíbá ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n Daniel Popuscu 29 has been jailed for the attempted murder of his pregnant ex-girlfriend Andrea Pinty ìyẹn ní Wales. Popuscu stabbed his ex-girlfriend multiple times wọ́n ti jẹ́lẹ̀ fún 17 years. Ọlọ́run ajé ẹ̀rí ẹ̀ tó pa Mohbad ó ká lè jẹ́lẹ̀ dey play. Ẹ wá justice àti rí justice fún Délégiwá àti rí justice fún Tolúlọpọ̀ Arótilé àti rí justice fún Bámidélé àbí Jùmọ̀kẹ́ àti rí justice fún woman tí ó lóyún Bọ́láńlé Rahim. Ẹ máa wá justice fún ẹ̀mí náà wá justice fún Mohbad ìlú òfò. Àníkájọ farabalẹ̀ ká pull out kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ká wá justice fún àwọn tó ń pààyàn káàkiri àwọn thugs tó kó káàkiri tó ń pààyàn àwọn tó ń intimidate ní àwọn tó ń bọ́mọ kéékèèké sùn. Sorry, UK crime. A man has been jailed for 10 years after being found guilty of conspiracy to kidnap 2 men and has been sentenced extended after admitting being involved in class A drug. What if gbogbo Ogun state wọ́n ní drug lè kún bẹ́ẹ̀ pam cocaine ló ń tà fáwọn ọmọ wa gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ̀ náà mama deceive me níbí báyìí drugs all over the place in Yoruba land. Lọ sọ́dọ̀ NDLEA nísìn oríṣiríṣi drugs wọn náà businessman Yorùbá ń ṣe Igbo ń ṣe má sọ pé Igbo nìkan ló ń ṣe drug gbogbo ilẹ̀ tó ń ṣe ẹgbẹ́ ìwé ìbíwọ̀ náà Korea ní ojú ọ̀ ló ń bá wọn ta ìgbódìgbà tílẹ̀ bá mọ́ tó bàtà bá rí ẹ kó lè nìyẹn náà máa tó mọ̀ kó lè nìyẹn tó bá jẹ́ kó lè lè mí náà tó bá ti mú mi ẹ lójú mi lórí screen bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o lè lo lè ń jẹ́ o lè yan poppy. So UK lélẹ́yìn kí lélẹ́yìn tún ṣe Christopher Griffin 46 years old sentenced to 12 years in prison dúdú ni òròjú ẹ̀ bó ṣe ó lè ní àmọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣe nísìn ẹni tó ṣẹ̀ nìkan ni òfin á máa mú ní Nàìjíríà. Gbogbo àwọn olè Yàyà Bello nísàn àgbọn kọkọ mọ àgbọn kọkọ mọ pé wọ́n ti mú Yàyà Bello. Máa bínú sí Koiki Media bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bẹ́ẹ̀ kó máa bínú sí ní àbí sísítẹ́ẹ̀mù kò tó ṣiṣẹ́. UK lélẹ́yìí o. 2 arrested after 2 teenagers stabbed in Stoke-on-Trent. Wọ́n stab ara wọn bí wèrè nílùú yìí. A 15-year-old boy has been rushed to the hospital this afternoon after being stabbed in North London train station. North London yẹn ti bá gbéra nísìn under 1 hour máa débẹ̀. Torí àwọn ọlọ́pàá àwọn ilé lọ protest lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ prison torí àwọn èèyàn wọn tó mú síbẹ̀. Ọlọ́pàá ní no move away. Torí pé ọlọ́pàá ò fìbọn yọ ọwọ́ lórí. Tó bá jọ́dọ̀ tí yín nísìn wọ́n á ti fìbọn wọ́n á ti fi fọ́ orí yín. Ṣé irú country tó fi gbé nìyẹn? Why expect diaspora tó ti gbé ní civilized country ní Italy, kódà ẹni tó gbé ní Turkey gan, ẹni tó gbé ní Spain, ẹni tó gbé ní Belgium, ẹni tó gbé ní Germany, ẹni tó gbé ní Asian country tó ń pè láwọn ìlú tó burú gan, wọ́n mọ̀ pé yes àwọn ní freedom díẹ̀ lórí àwọn ilé nìyẹn. Olè làwọn ilé náà. 2 men have been found guilty for the murder tó bá máa tán pè ní murder wọ́n pààyàn ní. Ẹni tó pàdògán nísìn àti Alhaji Fatai àmọ́ òkú wà lọ́wọ́ wọn nísìn wọn ò gbókùn fún wa bó kò kún ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ Yorùbá ni ìbá pọ̀ wọ́n bá ti pọ̀ lóyè náà bá ṣe máa sọ pé ìgbà tẹ aránṣẹ́ ìgbé tí gbogbo ìsàn náà nìyẹn. Ìbẹ́ ní mi ni mo kó ba Koiki olùkóbọ́ lóyè. Ọ̀yá mi ní kí n má bù yín mọ́ ó yẹ kí n fi èpè lé yín lórí mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni màá dé mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ 8 times ni wọ́n shoot ẹni tó pa yẹn. Ẹ̀wọ̀n ńlá kò sí àfi tó bá máa jáde oríkojú olójú òwìwí. So tó bá rò pé mo máa ń condemn Nàìjíríà crime tó ń bẹ ní UK ó fẹ́ ju ti Nàìjíríà lọ bọ̀ òfin ọwọ́ máa bà wọ́n. Ta ló pa Mohbad? Ta ló pa? Justice for Mohbad. Èmi náà wá justice fún èmi kan wá justice fún ẹ̀yìn tí justice needed. Wọ́n wá justice fún Mohbad ó ti wá justice fún ìwọ fúnra rẹ̀. Ìwà kọ́kọ́ wá justice fún rẹ̀ ìyẹn la ti ń pariwo Yorùbá nation. Kí lè lè ṣe drug dealer lélẹ̀ drug àtẹ̀dúpẹ́pẹ́ díẹ̀ lè tẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ díẹ̀díẹ̀ bó ṣe mú Ìgbò lọ mú Yorùbá wọn àwọn businessman tó bá gbé drug yẹn dé Amẹ́ríkà tó gbé dé UK tó gbé dé Europe tó bá máa padà dé wá di businessman businesswoman gbogbo Èkó pátá lálẹ́mọ̀ṣọ́ pátá gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn wọ́n ti infiltrate pẹ̀lú drugs. Kí láwọn lè ṣe olè ní wọ́n bọ́ ṣe wáyé o máa wò pọ́mọ dúdú ni olè ní gbogbo wọn bọ́ ṣe wáyé criminal ni wọ́n bọ́ ṣe wáyé àti sentence wọn máa sọ tó ṣe fún ẹ máa sọ pé they play. Irú sísítẹ́ẹ̀mù tá à ń fẹ́ lélẹ́yìí irú àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó máa ṣiṣẹ́ tó máa ṣe investigation forensic investigation ìgbà ní investigation lè take like 3 years a máa padà mọ ẹni yẹn ni ẹ̀yìn tá à ń ṣe nílùú yìí yẹn máa sọ pé they play jẹ́ nǹkan fún ẹ tó ṣẹlẹ̀. 6 semi-pro footballer gbogbo wọn pátá footballer ni wọn pro footballer olè ni wọn kí ló máa ń ṣe wọ́n ń ta drug wọ́n ṣe ń ta cocaine fún yín ní gbogbo Ogun State Ogun State lẹ́nu wọ́n ní drug tó ń bẹ níbẹ̀ kò ṣe kékeré gbogbo ọ̀nà Ìkòròdú ẹ má bínú gbogbo àwọn ibi tí mo ń dárúkọ yẹn intelligent gathering tó ń dọ́dọ̀ mi ni mo fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ àdènà ní government àná níjọba ẹ jẹ́ nǹkan fún yín 6 semi-pro footballers have been caught supplying cocaine in London with an estimated street value of £208 million. Ìwọ náà fẹ́ wọ UK àbí ìtòhùn ẹ̀ wá ṣe lélẹ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀n ló kù sí wàláì ṣòro pàwọ́ ká wà nílùú ẹ̀ náà mọ̀ ṣe torí àwa hard working ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Peter Ọládélé nísìn á ti lọ resume àbí kó máa fẹ́ máa gbéra báyìí nísìn 7 to 7 ni lórí ìdúró àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n yàn fún mi lówó tó pọ̀ fún mi £20 máa lè o rò pé drug ló ń ṣe nílùú yìí àwọn tó ń ṣe cocaine gan ní fún yín lówó òun náà ti sentence gbogbo wọn wọ́n wá fún wọn ní ọdún tó pọ̀ dáadáa. Adam Pepe ewúrà pé tó máa wà ní to the first hand side on the left òkàbọ̀ yìí máa ń torúkọ wọn nìyẹn ọmọ 35 years old ni wọ́n jẹ́lẹ̀ fún 29 years but wọ́n náà ti reduce ẹ̀ sí 24. Shakil èyí tó tẹ̀lé number 2 láti left hand side ni ọmọ 29 years old North Kensington wọ́n jẹ́lẹ̀ fún 26 but wọ́n reduce ẹ̀ sí 18 years and 9 months. Èyí tó tẹ̀lé tó dàbí ojú òwìwí Jamil Joseph ọmọ 28 ní Wembley. Àwọn yẹn ló máa ń rí tó máa ń gun Mercedes ńláńlá tí wọ́n wá máa wọ pé Koiki ìyàn kan níjọ́ kan ó lóun rí Koiki tó ń rìn lójú títí ọmọ àlè. No, ṣé kí n lọ jalè kí n lè máa gun Mercedes? Ṣé kí n lọ jalè sórí mo fẹ́ oppress ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Nàìjíríà? Ṣé Nàìjíríà ni mò ń gbé? Ṣé London transport sọ pé òun ò ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́? Ṣé wọ́n ní bus pass mi ò ní lọ lórí London transport? Wọ́n bí driver náà dà kí n náwó kó má dúró iṣẹ́ fẹ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ nítorí màá report ẹ̀. Cut your coat according to your size. Ẹ̀rín tẹ̀sẹ̀ ń dé má sáré tó máa lọ fi ṣubú sínú prison ẹ̀wọ̀n ló kù sí. Tó bá ṣẹ̀ dé UK farabalẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ló wá ṣe. Mo sọ fún ẹ fàwọn ọmọ kéékèèké yẹn sílẹ̀ fàwọn ọmọ yẹn sílẹ̀ fídíò fáìlì ló máa classify yẹn sí bíbá yóò ṣe Nàìjíríà. Má fọmọ sínú ilé lọ faṣẹ́. Tó bá fọmọ sínú ilé lọ faṣẹ́ tó bá ti mú ẹ wọ́n gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ nìyẹn. Máa sọ pé dey play ìwọ tó ṣẹ̀dé ní mò ń sọ fún. The next one Milechi Emmanuel ọmọ 29 wọ́n jẹ́lẹ̀ fún 29 but wọ́n náà bá reduce ẹ̀ 14 years ló máa lò. And the last one Luki Saki 36 years old wọ́n jẹ́lẹ̀ fún 22 ó máa lò 13 years. These are criminals, okay? So máa ro torí bọ́ ṣe ń gbé drug yẹn lélẹ́yìí o investigation máa monitor wọn torí bọ́ ṣe ra gbé drug yẹn lọ inú safe storage lọ́nà yẹn o torí bọ́ ṣe monitor wọn drug ni o wàá rò pé big boy ni wọn kò mọ̀ ọlọ́pàá ń ṣọ́ wọn kò mọ̀ ọlọ́pàá ń ṣọ́ self storage nílé nísìn because mo ti lo self storage rí torí drug ló wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yìn o torí bó ṣe fine ìwọ fine girl wá wá sí Nàìjíríà ìwọ àwọn ibà sáré wá Nàìjíríà ní sinmi kò gbẹ pòpòpòpòpò wàá kọ́ lóyún fún drug dealer torí wọn they are all drug dealers big boys ní London Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ jẹ́ káwa jẹ́ big boys àwa cut our coat according to their size wàá tún rí mọ́tò tó máa lò sórí kò mọ̀ ọlọ́pàá ń ṣọ́ wọn irú system tá à ń fẹ́ ní ilé ìtọ́lọ́pàá máa monitor gbogbo yín ẹ̀yin olè ẹ̀yin criminals tá a máa wá make sure pé a máa lock yín sínú prison torí ẹ ti fi ayé ẹ ti fi ní gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa lára sórí wọn sórí pé drug sórí ọ̀nà ọlọ́pàá ń ṣọ́ wọn ọlọ́pàá ní time níta ṣe gbọ́ ọlọ́pàá pé kó máa ṣiṣẹ́ nìyẹn kò dàbí Nàìjíríà tọ́lọ́pàá ò ní ṣiṣẹ́ fún yín olówó nìkan lọ́lọ́pàá ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún kò ṣiṣẹ́ fún mẹ̀kúnnù. This is what Baba Akintoye is talking about. We don't want those kind of lifestyle. Mo kàn mọ̀ ṣó yín lédè láàárọ̀ kó má bàa rò pé Koiki Nàìjíríà tó máa àtàkì ṣé kò sí crime ní UK ni ó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ crime tó wà nínú ìlú yìí ó ju ti Nàìjíríà lọ but à ń níbẹ̀ à ń sentence wọn torí pé olè ló lè ń jẹ́ torí wọn torí gbogbo cocaine yẹn bó ṣe ń supply wọn ló wọ́ọ̀tì 208 million wọ́n wá fi lè wá fi ba ayé jẹ́ fún gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa tó ń gbé nílùú òyìnbó wọ́n á máa force wọn kọ́ lo drugs àwọn ọmọ yẹn wá di yàgàyàgà torí gbogbo ẹ̀. Koiki sex pavel wọ́pọ̀ mọ́ nínú àwọn tó ṣe ń dé bẹ́ẹ̀ náà àní kan sẹ́ẹ̀ sí lórí ètò ìyá mi gbé mi lékè ọmọ yẹn ní you look like my daddy bàbá yẹn ní I'm 25 ọmọ yẹn nínú you look like my daddy ẹ sí lórí ètò ìdíje tàbí ṣe program yẹn torí mo rí pé mo rí lórí ètò ọmọ yẹn ní you look like my daddy ọ̀nà woolwich dẹ̀ lọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní woolwich tẹ́ ṣe ń dé ẹ fà àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́mọ sílẹ̀ ẹ fi àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́mọ sílẹ̀ ẹ fọmú wọn sílẹ̀ torí ọyàn wọn tẹ̀ ń rí yẹn ló ń dà yín lórí rú àti di wọn ẹ fi wọn sílẹ̀ báwọn ọmọ yẹn ṣe múra nìyẹn because ẹ̀wọ̀n ló máa ń lọ àdèmà forúkọ sórí caveat list o dẹ̀ ní good DBS o ní ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké mọ́ tọmọ bá ti ní you look like my daddy ó mọ tó ń sọ ó ní you look like my daddy ẹ̀yin pervert idiot gbogbo òfòṣì tẹ́ ń ṣe Nàìjíríà tó fẹ́ gbé yín wọ UK ẹ̀wọ̀n la máa ti gbogbo yín sí gbogbo yín pátápátá la máa make sure pé inú ẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣàdúrà kan kò ní gbà ẹ̀wọ̀n ló máa kú sí dumb bastards. So ṣẹ́rí crime eléyìí wà pathetic wà láìtàláì súnmọ́ bí láìláìláìláhùwà ẹ tó bá lọ wo fídíò yìí tí wọ́n dẹ̀ wọnú shop ṣẹ́rí àwọn méjèèjì yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ strangle bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn aago ló ń tà ṣẹ́rí kí bọ̀bọ̀ yìí ti commit suicide bọ̀bọ̀ òyìnbó yìí ó ti commit suicide ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí last week ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ bá máa wò bí a lè rí CCTV video yẹn is a very sad one. Wọ́n wọnú ṣọ́ọ̀pù yẹn lọ wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tó fi rago all of a sudden wọ́n dẹ̀ lọ́ọ̀kì bàbá yẹn lọ́rùn wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í jágo yìí. Now this guy has committed suicide. Ó ti parí ẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo fídíò yìí, ká lọ wá fídíò yìí. Eléyìí náà ní sìn, a teenage boy has appeared in the court charged with the murder of a 16 years old. Wọ́n sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan mú ní Ọlọ́run jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wa kọ́stáàbù wọn ṣàmì no problem. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo ṣẹ̀rí àwọn eléyìí ní sàtìwọ́n àwọn báyìí. Gbogbo bíkíbi tó bá wà á máa rí wọn àti dúdú eléyìí àwọn bíi African country tó ti wá bí i Nàìjíríà ni bí i Togo ni bí i Kenya ni a máa mú un because ojú ẹ̀ jáde dáadáa nínú CCTV. Arákùnrin tó lọ jí aago lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ ó ti parẹ́. Eléyìí náà ní sí a 34-year-old woman was stabbed to death ní Beaumont Beach has been named as a personal trainee almost 17 years old ló stab ẹ̀. Kó lè bá rí pé kò ń ṣe Nàìjíríà nìkan ni crime wà bọ́ a máa ń dì pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Eléyìí náà ní sí 18-year-old bọ̀. 18-year-old has been charged with the murder after a father of two was stabbed. Ẹni tó stab ẹ̀ náà mo 20 years old. Bàmá wọ́ndà pé Koiki nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ ní lọ́dọ̀ yín lọ́wọ́ rẹ́rẹ́ rún káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Yẹmí Fátókì. Mo kí ẹ Síkírù Àlàní, mo kí ẹ Gbénga Ayọ̀délé Oòduà. 2 teenagers have been charged with the murder of a fatal stabbing in Leicester. Cody Baddick, 18, died at the scene of the incident in the New Park on Wednesday. Last week ilé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Ṣé o gbọ́ mi? Kódà máa sọ pé dey play. Mo fi lọ mú fídíò ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ọ̀bẹ tó máa ń lò yẹn nílé àwọn ọ̀bẹ òfò tó bá ti bọ̀ ẹ̀ lára báyìí kọ́ lọ́jọ́ survive ẹ̀ Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àṣàgbákò wọn. Rẹ́rẹ́ rún nílùú yìí mo fi lọ show fídíò bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ni àmọ́ tó ti ṣe. A mother has been jailed for the murder of her son. Christina Robinson was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Dearwen died at the hospital with 60 injuries and 20% burns. Ìyá òfò lélẹ̀ níbi táwọn kan ti ń wá ọmọ. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú tẹ máa ń ná àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́ẹ̀ka fún yín sí kẹkú síbẹ̀. Ẹ máa ná àwọn ọmọ lọ́mọ. Though a dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé Lagos state àwọn state kọ̀ọ̀kan they are trying their best to stop that. Mo kàn fi lọ wá fídíò the other guy tí mo sọ yẹn. So you can see multiple crimes. Eléyìí náà ní sìn Brixton slasher has been jailed for the murder of Johannitan Kosil Mohammed ọmọ 34 who stabbed girl yìí to death in a random attack ní last year. Wọ́n ti sentence ẹ̀ fún 32 years. Ta ló pa Mohbad lẹ̀ ń wá? Ṣé kò ẹ̀ka tí mẹ́rin tó pa Mohbad tó bá yẹ pé CCTV pọ̀ káàkiri gbogbo? A ní ẹ̀kan tọ́ra yín ni ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìyá mi Grace Olúṣòótọ́ àrí nínú àdúrà lánàá sálàáfíà lẹ́wà. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Mo ní èmi ní máa ṣí ọkàn yín kúrò lára Nàìjíríà. Ṣòrélé náà nísìnyí. A man who fired a gun in Tottenham has been convicted on firearms offence. Ricardo Anderson, 21, has been convicted of the possession of the firearm with intent to endanger life. Oníyìnbọn láàrin títì ọmọ àlè. Máa sọ pé Koiki dey play torí pé ọlọ́pàá ń ṣiṣẹ́ fèmí ní bíbá mọ̀ bọ̀ kí lélẹ́yìí náà tún ṣe eléyìí tún wà pathetic. Ọlọ́run má jà kọ́ àwọn ọmọ lọ sí nursery tó máa pa àwọn ọmọ wa lọ́wọ́. Ó pa ọmọ yẹn ni àti sentence olórí burúkú ẹ̀ 14 years ló lò lẹ́wọ̀n. Ọmọ 1987 ni bó ṣe wà ẹ̀wọ̀n ló máa kú sí. Torí ẹni tó bá ti pààyàn ó gbọ́ 11 years ago ní Woolwich ẹ máa rántí àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà méjì kan tó náà pa sójà tó pa lélẹ̀ ọdún yàn pẹ́ 11 years ago Lee Leverage àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi triple DRS àwọn máa mọ gbogbo ilé dáadáa tí àdúgbò wọn ní ní Woolwich. Bọ̀bọ́ yẹn àwọn ọmọ Nigerians méjì ológun kú tó ti di Islamic radical terrorist. Wọ́n pọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lè ní o àmọ́ wọ́n ṣe ẹ̀sìn kan ló ń ṣe o ẹ̀sìn náà wọ̀nyí ń ṣe terrorist ni wọ́n. Gbogbo àwọn yẹn ló ń bọ̀ wá ṣe jàǹbá fún wa tá a bá tètè kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n pa bọ̀bọ́ yìí ní 11 years ago mo rántí story yẹn dáadáa. Àwọn Nigerians méjì àkókò ló ń bọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ lọ wọ́jú wọn jáde ẹ̀wọ̀n ló wà báyìí nísìnyí ẹ̀wọ̀n ló máa kú sí. Mo bọ̀ màá sọ àwọn tó pa wọ́n. Who killed who killed him? Michael Adébọ̀wálé àwọn tó pa lélẹ̀ ṣẹ̀rí àdá ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀rí ó ní Woolwich lọ́sọ̀gbọ́n àwọn méjèèjì lélẹ̀ yìí Michael Adébọ́lájí àti Michael Adébọ̀wálé found guilty for the death of Lee Libridge. 2 men have been convicted of murdering a soldier in a broad daylight near a military barracks in London in the first Al-Qaeda inspired Cherry Yoruba mọ́mí adé mo mọ̀ pé triple rs máa rántí dáadáa ó ní Akínbọ̀lájí àti Adébọ̀wálé ojú wọn lè rí bó ṣe pọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ti di terrorist ẹ máa sọ pé lẹ́ka mi pé ẹni ìfẹ́ pọ̀ jù títí nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ṣẹ́ríbi tọ́rọ̀ tó tún gbé wa dé nísìn ṣẹ́rí pé ibì kan láti ń bọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ pé láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ń bọ̀ fídíò tí mo ṣe ń wá gan mò ń fẹ́ sáré wá yẹn ká lè portrait ibẹ̀ yẹn tẹ bá follow page ẹ máa kànú pé Koiki ṣe ní London yìí náà ní gbogbo ilé tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ mẹ́wàá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní mo sọ fún ẹsẹ̀ kí fídíò yẹn ò sí níbí báyìí but fídíò yẹn wà lórí fídíò tí bọ̀bọ̀ tí mò ń sọ tí ó commit suicide yẹn ó wà lórí social media anyway wọ́n lọ rọ́ọ̀bù ṣọ́ọ̀bù yẹn bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ti commit suicide sí kọ́lọ̀ fún mi kẹ ìyẹn òyìnbó yìí mo lè lọ wá fídíò yẹn jáde properly but to the head boy yà mí lẹ́nu pé bọ̀bọ̀ yóò post the video yẹn but the video was in circulation wọ́n rí wọn lórí CCTV but àmọ́ bí tó wà that is the reason why you must have a country that you can secure your borders. Bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ wò bí a máa rí lórí Google à ń bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ táwọn wọ́n fẹ́ wọlé bí a máa rí fídíò ẹ̀ níbí báyìí bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn lélẹ̀ ó ti commit suicide but ẹni tó pa gangan ni mò ń wá bọ̀ ok bọ̀ watch dealer fídíò ni mo wá mo fẹ́ kẹ́ rí fídíò yẹn ó wà pathetic gan ok daily mi lè show fídíò yẹn nígbà tó lọ rọ́ọ̀bù ṣọ́ọ̀kì yẹn ó rà pé fídíò yẹn lè mú bọ̀ it's a very sad one nígbà tí mo gbọ́ pé bàbá yẹn ti commit suicide ó sad gan bàbá ní kò sad ok àwọn tó lọ rọ́ọ̀bì lélẹ̀ bọ̀kúlẹ́dé tí gbogbo wọn lọ fídíò yẹn pé má ṣe commit suicide lórí àmì lẹ́nu táwọn pépà yóò lo fídíò arákùnrin the whole video was online ọ̀bẹ Instagram page yìí gbé fídíò yìí wọ́n mọ̀ pé Linda gan lo fídíò yìí nígbà yẹn ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní o bíbí sọtẹ nílò fídíò yẹn náà ok ẹja wo gbogbo wọn ṣó fídíò yẹn ọkàn ṣó íméjì wọ́n dẹ̀ lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó fẹ́ rago wọ́n wá strangle ẹ̀ anyway ẹ jẹ́ ká move forward so àkọ̀rẹ́ fídíò yẹn but at least it is just what it is. Watch dealer choke. I don't know why I can't find the video online. Video okay, olele. Ẹja wo video olele yìí. Ẹ wo video yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wò. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ kẹ́? Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo video yìí. Arákùnrin yẹn agolo máa ń tà ó lè làwọn méjèèjì ṣẹ́rí bó ṣe chókè ẹjẹ mute sound ẹ ìtókù ìkejì wa ń sáré jí àwọn àgbo rẹ ṣẹ́rí bí yẹn ṣe chókè bó ṣe chókè mo kí ẹ Prince Adeshitu ìyá mi Grace Olóṣètò ni there are so many crimes done in diaspora but hardly will such people go without justice. There must be because they have fear of God and humanity in them. But in Nigeria, justice can't be done in fear. Do you see it? Ṣé bó ṣe lock bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn? Ó wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í jí aago yẹn. Ìyẹn máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í kó aago yẹn sínú báàgì. Bọ̀bọ̀ dúdú yẹn máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í kó aago yẹn ṣẹ́rí ràn. ilé nísìn àwa Nàìjíríà nísìn abẹ́rẹ́ sí ṣẹ́rí ẹni pé kò wọ belt àwọn tó máa ń gbé ṣòkòtò sídìí ẹ̀ àwa Nàìjíríà nísìn a máa ṣe big boy àgbà hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì akọ ọmọdé síbẹ̀ a máa mọ tí ẹni mọ̀ pé ó lè ló ń jà lábroad ṣẹ́rí hàn ṣẹ́rí ó tún èyí tó wà lórí tébù ló tún wà yẹn ṣẹ́rí pé ó dábàá ṣe rí fídíò yẹn bọ̀bọ̀ tán chókì yìí ó ti commit suicide ó ti parẹ́ that is what crime can do àwa wá sọ pé wọ́n ṣe crime nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kò dẹ̀ ní pain sí wọn lára torí pé o like Koiki Media ṣé èmi ni problem Nàìjíríà ṣé bàbá Akíntóyè ní problem Nàìjíríà ṣé Ìgbòho ní problem Nàìjíríà máa sọ pé dey play torí crime torí ràn tóun aago méje ló ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ lọ rùbí lọ́dọ̀ wa níbí báyìí mo kí gbogbo ọlẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i can you see it tóun ràn but a máa rí wọn kò síbi tó fi sá lọ ìwọ nísìnyí wọ́n máa tago yẹn fún ẹ nísìnyí wọ́n á gbé lọ sí barber shop wọ́n máa tà káàkiri torí ràn wọ́n máa mú wọn because the CCTV saw them for the fact that pé bọ̀bọ̀ ìtiwá tó wá commit suicide ọ gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe kéèsì torí bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn nísìnyí ilé tó kì í lọ́mù yẹn wọ́n máa wá based on ti ọ́fíìsì bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn lọ́wọ́ torí ó ní kó mọ́kù jáde torí wọ́n fi so lọ́wọ́ àtẹsẹ̀ kábíyèsí lẹ́dùnmáre nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ ọlọ́run ajá ṣàgbákò nílùú yìí so now ẹjẹ́ àfihàn sílẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn eléyìí Leebridge yìí àwọn Islamic fundamentalist terrorist wọ́n ti wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ máa sọ pé dey play ọ̀sán kan òru kan lọ́sàn gangan làwọn lè wọ́n ṣàbọ̀bọ̀ ìpa wọ́n ṣàbí ẹran àwọn méjèèjì tó ń wo ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ti lọ gba ẹ̀sìn náà wèrè Michael ẹ̀yin dáwà lórí mixela Ògúnmọ́lá ẹni up to 5 minutes because 2 hours ti lọ lórí ẹ̀ láti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí other platform mo kí ẹ káàárọ̀ brother mi àwọn méjèèjì àmọ́ bí wọ́n bí wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí mùsùlùmí ni wọn but bí ṣe gbọ́ bí ọ̀dà kan convert ni wọn. On the left is Michael Adebolaji. To the right is Michael Adebowale. Have been found guilty of murdering Leebridge. But boy, ó ti pé 11 years. Adebolaji look at the press and kisses his Quran as he was taken to the court cell. Ó tún kiss the Quran. Má ṣe o. Ọmọ Yorùbá. Kódà. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀síwájú ẹ jẹ́ ká wá padà sórí how many hours starting bro we have just about 40 minutes left so mo ti show yín ní many areas láàárọ̀ yìí okay they were converted to Islam I know that they were Christian wọ́n convert to Islam but Islam táwọn convert sí Islam pàyànpàyàn làwọn convert sí mo kí àwa Ìfàgbémilékè ìsìlámù ti yé wọn lórí terrorist ni wọ́n bá ṣe wà yẹn wọ́n pọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ máa ní make we dey play Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àṣàgbákò wọn so now let's come out ká wá lọ ka díẹ̀ nípa tí bàbá Akíntóyè ní ká máa kà fún yín ká fi yẹn ṣe ká fi kásẹ̀ ètò yìí nílẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ṣẹ̀rá àwọn ọmọ àti yàrá wọ́n ní he is asking for the dual nation ẹ jẹ́ kọ́ lọ arrest Sunday Igboho àwọn wèrè self-determination is not a crime má jẹ́ kí nǹkan kan sọ fún ẹ pé intan béèrè fún crime ni ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni benefit a máa rí níbẹ̀ òun ló ń wò níwájú yìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ benefit tàbájọ dé ilẹ̀ lérí ìwọ tó ní kò ní wá sí ìmúṣẹ ìwọ ló máa lọ àwa sì máa wà níbí báyìí kò sí tí Tinubu lè ṣe pẹ̀lú fraudulent constitution kóhùn kó sáré gbẹ̀gbẹ̀gbẹ̀ kóhùn kó jù sókè kó jù sílẹ̀ nothing can come out of Tinubu's government 1 year of Tinubu's in office what is your life like báwo ni ilé ayé ẹ ṣe rí látìgbà tí Tinubu ti dórí oyè has anything changed or is it still the same tó bá dẹ̀ yẹ pé ó ti change ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lórí fún gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àbí tọ̀dọ̀ tẹnìkan ló ń rò ǹjẹ́ òun tẹlòmíì mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin yẹn wa let's now read a little bit further látara tí bàbá Akintoye tó fi ṣe pé ká máa fi bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. Gbogbo àwọn ìlú pátá tí British colonize òun lẹ̀ ń wò yìí. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń bẹ lórí Mixlr ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí àwọn platforms tó kù. Thank you so much. Now, as we are going into the last part of the program this morning, remember that nobody wants you to be free, but we will have to do what needs to be done to be free. We are not Nigerians. Evidence are pointed. Many people have talked about it. Self-determination is an inalienable right. We don't want to be part of Nigeria because the fraudulent amalgamation everybody knows is not working. And that is the reason why we are now saying, let us go our separate ways, and let's read further from this report again this morning. We Yoruba have suffered abominably in independent Nigeria, and we have decided to exit Nigeria. But then, since the time of Nigeria's independence in 1960, our being part of Nigeria has been pulling us down. Nigeria's former colonial overlords, the British, laid for Nigeria the foundation of decline and failure by manipulating everything: the constitution, population census, regional boundaries, the pre-independent election, to establish the small Fulani nation in a position of unseasonable dominance over Nigeria. The Fulani are non-indigenous to Nigeria, are the least educated people in Nigeria, and are mostly a nomadic cattle-herding people living in the wild, unable to understand the nature of a modern country. They embark on making themselves the new colonial overlords of Nigeria, and thereby launch Nigeria into a culture of impunity, process manipulations, massive public corruption, fearsome economic decline. In spite of Nigeria's great wealth of natural and human resources, and though Nigeria became one of the world's largest producers and exporters of petroleum from about 1970, Nigeria's economy has declined recklessly. By 2018, an international agency classified Nigeria as the home of the most world's extreme poverty, which we showed you just about a few minutes ago. As we go further, today, 2024, leading persons in the management of Nigeria, former governors of the Nigerian Central Bank, serving ministers in the Nigerian federal government, etc., are publicly admitting that the Nigerian economy has collapsed. All over the country, the poverty is fearful, visible. In these early months of 2024, in the enormous and increasing numbers of beggars in the street, in the large numbers of businesses that have closed down and are closing down in the length of dilapidated main roads, in the collapse of electricity supply, in the decline of the quality of education, in the massive unemployment, in the total collapse of Nigerian currency, the naira, in the world exchange market, in the persistent 4-digit inflation, in the flight of hundreds of thousands of educated youths to other countries, in the increasing numbers of youth suiciders, in the massive crowds of hungry protesters in all part of Nigeria, in all part of the country, etc. We Yoruba are deeply sunk and are sinking deeper and deeper into all this poverty. In addition, since 2015, the Fulani, greatly emboldened by their success in dominating Nigeria, have embarked on an agenda aimed at conquering and subjugation all the non-Fulani peoples in Nigeria, which confidently avowed of turning all of Nigeria into a Fulani homeland. In the storm of these violence since 2015, hundreds of thousands of Nigerians have been killed, including as many as an estimated 29,000 of Yoruba people. Yoruba farmers have been forced to abandon farming altogether, and the agricultural economy of the Yoruba nation has been almost totally destroyed, thereby foisting terrible food insecurity on the Yoruba people for years and years to come, since more and more of the marauding Fulani are still being brought from all over West Africa. The killings, the destructions of our farms and villages, the kidnapping of thousands of people, and the extortion of large amounts of money from our people are continuing. We Yoruba people have been intensively devastated by all this deepening disaster of Nigeria. As Nigeria retrogressed on all fronts, it dragged Yoruba land down with it. Moreover, particularly policies and actions aimed against the Yoruba for the hot Yoruba interest. The military dictatorship seized important Yoruba assets that the Yoruba people had created in the Western region in the 1950s, schools and hospitals that had been established by the state government, private agencies and individual Yoruba persons, and that had enjoyed very competent management by their founders, the Yoruba Cocoa Export Management System, the Yoruba Radio and Television Institution, the proud university that we Yoruba people built in Ile-Ife, even the Yoruba Regional Sports Stadium. Most of these assets were then poorly managed or deliberately neglected and left to decline and perish, even though our Yoruba regional continued to command most of the Nigerians' crumbling economy. Ever intensifying poverty became the lot of most Yoruba people. The most visible, the most painful part of the poverty was the devastating neglect of the Yoruba youth because of their destruction of the economy. Countless thousands of Yoruba youth, most of them graduates of universities and colleges, pile up year after year as unemployed, with the federal government and the federal control state government doing nothing to help. Many of the youth managed to flee to other countries. Many tried to reach Europe by crossing the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea, and some of these perished regularly in the desert and the sea. Some of the youth who were stuck in Nigeria plunged into crime, criminal cult, drug abuse. The quality of the Yoruba political leadership rapidly crashed too, as many Yoruba leaders were stuck into the insensitive and horrible undemocratic governance, election rigging, and the arrogant and all the pervading public corruption that are the character of Nigeria. But the worst finally came under the presidency of a Fulani man, Muhammadu Buhari, President of Nigeria 2015 until 2023. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, the Fulani agenda over Nigeria matured fearfully. It was advanced with two initiatives and from two directions. The highest objective of the Fulani agenda is that the Fulani must conquer all the indigenous peoples of Nigeria, turning the indigenous homeland into one Fulani homeland, enslave all the indigenous peoples. The success achieved by the agenda are already staggering. First, the Fulani have succeeded greatly in propagating a doctrine among the masses of uneducated and poor Fulani people of all of West Africa. The doctrine that Allah has given all the land of Nigeria to the Fulani nation that has never had a homeland, and that the Fulani are to possess it all by conquest. Hundreds of thousands of Fulani from most countries of West Africa, influenced by this propaganda, have relocated to Nigeria to partake in the conquest and violent possession of Nigeria. It is a phenomenon propaganda success. President Muhammadu Buhari directly aided this success by announcing that people are free to come to Nigeria from any part of Africa without passport or entry visas, a coded message to the masses of illiterate Fulani flocks. The masses of the Fulani Mujahideen, militarized masses of poor flocks that are being brought to Nigeria, served as the foot soldiers of the violent conquest initiative spreading all over Nigeria, killing, maiming, destroying farms and villages, raping women, kidnapping people and extorting ransom, forcing countless farmers to abandon farming, seizing and renaming villages all over the Nigeria Middle Belt, establishing hideouts in countless forest locations in most parts of southern Nigeria, including Yoruba land, spreading out violence from there. And then there is the government-based aspect of the Fulani agenda. This is the domain of the Fulani men and women who, from their positions in the President Buhari's administration, set themselves the duty of filing almost all the key positions in the Nigerian federal establishment and all the key positions in the Nigerian security apparatus, Army, Air Force, Navy, Police, and all the other security agencies, immigration services, port authority with the Fulani people. By the end of President Muhammadu Buhari's presidential term in May 2023, the Fulani had succeeded greatly in taking over Nigeria's federal government and its security forces. Altogether, the Fulani had by early 2023 come close to their dream of the conquest of Nigeria. In the last month of Buhari's presidency, the simple act of changing the design of Nigeria's paper currency note was turned into a massive source of suffering for Nigerians at the instruction of the government. People surrender their old currency note to the banks, but when people demanded the new note, the bank usually had none to give. Therefore, even the rich people who own large amount of money in the banks had no cash to spend. Commercial life fell into utter chaos. People were desperately rushing to banks and fighting bank officials, forcing bank officials to flee over walls and fences. In many towns, people destroyed or burnt down banks' buildings. Desperate men, women stripped naked in the banking hall. Some committed suicide. Across the country, many banks closed down because of the angry crowd in front of the banks. It became a hazard to go to the banks in most parts of the country. The Nigerian Supreme Court ruled that the old currency note should return to circulation, but the executive government ignored their ruling. The cause of all this destructiveness is the incompetence of the Nigerian government, coupled with the government's constant strategy of imposing poverty and want on the people in order to make them more controllable, subdue them. Factually, all Yoruba people now want their Yoruba nation to quit Nigeria. Nigeria is no longer one country. It is a chaotic stack of insecure, distressed, mutual hostility, nationalities, a failed state in the estimation of the informed world. The two things now keeping the chaotic stack together are first, the common people's fear of more blood, and second, the resolve of some of the elite of various peoples of Nigeria to hold on to their shares in the Nigerian culture of public corruption, and the timidity and insensitivity of most of the rest of the elite to act purposefully and decisively towards peaceful separation of their various nations from Nigeria. As things are going now, a blood-soaked dissolution is becoming inevitable. On February 24th and 26th, and let me just add this to buttress that side that AKINTOYE just told us, that the blood-soaking now is going to be inevitable if nothing is done as quickly and as swiftly to stop what is about to be unleashed on you and me and many Nigerians, due to the fact that things have not turned around since even the 1 year of this failed government called APC, a criminal government that have brought poverty. This is what Pastor Emmanuel Femi said regarding that section, that there is going to be an imminent war if things are not taken care of quickly by President Bola Tinubu. My name is Oluwole Koiki. You're watching, listening to Koiki Media Live, Yoruba Self-Determination, no going back. Good morning, Mr. Ola Niels, and just raising a very good morning to you.
I pray God will give Asiwaju the courage to do it, because it will affect even himself. It will affect all the APC powers. It will affect all the MDs of banks. The MDs of banks are the destroyer of this system. The powerful, the high and the mighty. He is stepping on their toes. I pray God give him the grace to do it. The next thing he should do, tell him if you know him, is to restructure this country. Nigeria is a fraud. One particular tribe repressing the whole of us. Did you hear what central bank governor wants to do? Just a department, the operation department of central bank, to be moved back to Lagos, where you have 99% of the headquarters of bank. The North is agitated. Don't take Abuja back to Lagos. They don't care. If you all become beggars, it's okay for their oligarchic mentality. I talk like no other pastor talk. I talk like no other pastor talk. Because I have seen into governance, I have seen into the church. And I know where the problem is in this country. Are you hearing me? They may not like what I'm saying, but they cannot dispute the truth. This country cannot go on like this. Okay, I was talking about those who migrated. I don't blame those that want to japa. You know, initially I was saying don't japa. Do you hear me say that again? Japa if you want to japa. Because you look at the country and say, what future? If it goes on like this, what future? If it goes on like this, civil war is imminent. If it goes on like this, military intervention is imminent. Do we want to go back to that? No. Something must happen. I have always believed that something must happen. Do you see the way we pray in this church? Make Nigeria one. We don't pray. Nigeria is not one, and it can never be one. We are different nations tied together by force. We should still be one country, but let everyone govern himself the way he likes. Are you hearing me? Let the Niger Delta have their oil. Let the East have their resources. Let the Yoruba people have their resources. Let the North have their resources. Let them manage their security. Give them state police. Let everybody guard his borders. Let everybody generate his economy. Why must we generate oil in the Niger Delta and take it to the North? Why must we generate IGR here, or the VATs, and take it to the North? That generate nothing. The 10 key northern states have Sharia. Sharia says no to alcohol. Sharia says no to tobacco. But alcohol and tobacco is what gives us VAT here. And you take the money from there to spend where you say you don't want, but you like the money. Fraud. 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 Unfairness. Injustice. Where did we sit down to make Nigeria 36 states? Where did we sit down? Nigeria was negotiated 3 regions. North, West, East. 1963, by plebiscite, Midwest came in. Where did we sit down and say we shall be 36 states plus Abuja, and the biggest one taken to the North? More local governments. Then we came with federal character. You are qualified, but from the tribe you came from, you can't be qualified. Now, you can't pass any law in that National Assembly without Northern approval. They are in larger quantity. Deliberately made so. So how do we go from there?
Good morning, Mr. Adebayo Okikiola Emmanuel. Good morning, Iyawa Amudalat Owoyemi. Ẹ káàárọ̀ Koiki rally kò bẹ̀rẹ̀ padà ní kíákíá. Yemi Olakunle, good morning. Ifanimole Aye, good morning. Olaitan Olatayo, good morning. Dennis Otto, good morning. Ola Nails, good morning. Well, you can see that I've been able to buttress what Baba Akintoye wrote, that the blood will soak. That is one of the reasons why people are scared to support this agitation. But one thing is, even if you don't support it, you are likely still to get caught up along the line. On February 24th and 26th, the Fulani, acting through the topmost national organization, the Fulani Nationalist Movement, issued 2 declarations of war against the rest of Nigeria, against the president, the federal government, and the peoples and the state government of all parts of Nigeria. Their statement announced that they did not accept the president of Nigeria as their president, that they would overrun Aso Rock, the seat of the federal government, take Aso Rock and use it as a base for conquering the peoples and the government of Nigeria, that they would burn down everything in Nigeria. Their declaration then ordered all Fulani to proceed immediately to all parts of Nigeria to fight and bring down all the government. Following their declaration of war, the Fulani immediately commenced war against all sections of Nigeria. In Yoruba land on January 25th, 2024, on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the busiest highway in Yoruba land and in Nigeria, Fulani militia men burst on the highway from the forest, forced a local chairman of a national political party out of his car, kidnapped him into the bush, and later demanded 200 million naira for his ransom. On January 27 in Kwara State, Fulani kidnappers abducted a student from the campus of Ilorin University. On January 27 in Oyo State, Fulani militia men abducted the chairman of a public corporation, took him away into the forest. On January 29 in Oyo State, a local church pastor was attacked on his farm and killed by Fulani militia men. On January 29 in Ekiti State, Fulani terrorists wielding AK-47 rifles attacked the very top of Yoruba society culture by killing 2 Yoruba Obas on a highway. A third Oba escaped. On January 30, on the road south of Ekiti State of Emure, in far south of Ekiti State, Fulani kidnappers kidnapped 14 school children, returning from their school in their school bus, and later demanded 200 million naira for their ransom. On February 1st, Fulani terrorists forced their way into the palace of a Yoruba Oba in Kwara State, killed the Oba, abducted his wife and child. On February 7, the Fulani ambushed an Oba in his farm in Kogi State and killed him. By this crowded series of attacks, the Fulani have served notice to the Yoruba people that no Yoruba person of any status should be considered safe in any part of Yoruba homeland, in their homes or place of work, on the open highway. And as usual, we always have something just to back that again with this particular video that we are going to add to that before we read the last part of that particular manifesto report that Baba Akintoye asked us to be using to enlighten and educate ourselves on all the reasons why the Yoruba people should now have no reasons to stay within Nigeria, since Nigeria has failed to protect us against all this crime that we've just talked about. But many Yoruba people still believe that things will change. Listen to this as we play this.
Which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. Let me make some revelations to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. How would the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders.
one or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
So what do they expect of us now that this war is on our doorstep? Of course, there has got to be civil mobilization. And if we keep waiting for this to be centrally handled, we're all going to become, if we're not already, slaves in our own land. That for me is personally intolerable. It's not an acceptable condition. And whatever it takes, I stand ready to contribute in any way.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia. And today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. And there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Well, if we refuse to get the hell out of our way, we will do whatever is needed to make sure that our people will be free. Mo kí bàbá wa Shamsuddin Oladipupo, ìbùkún ni fún orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá nation. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́, sir, bàbá wa. He went further to say, kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín, sir, bàbá wa. Adebayo Kikiola say, ẹ kú ètò. Good morning, my brother, Mr. Theophilus Akitunde. You didn't spell my name properly. It is Koiki. Koiki is a Yoruba name from Ijebu-Ode. Moki Babawa Matthew Oyebambi. Moki Bubaitoko. We are 10 minutes to the end of the program, and I'm just going to read the last slide. And it says, but we Yoruba will be separated from Nigeria before the seas of blood come sweeping over everything in Nigeria. We have lost a lot to Fulani rampages. Famine is dead over most of our farmland. Famine is threatening to engulf our homeland, and the displaced farmers are increasing employment everywhere. And some of them are fleeing to Yoruba kinsmen in Benin and Togo Republic. An estimated 29,000 of our people have been killed by the Fulani. About 1.5 million have been forced to flee into exile in neighboring Benin and Togo republics. Uneducated and unskilled Fulani youth dumped on our towns and cities by Fulani leaders to destroy peace and security, are degrading peace and security in our homeland. But we shall soon be free in a sovereign country of our own. We have no other option than to pull our nation out of Nigeria now and create a separate country of our own where we can strongly provide security for our people and develop a prosper as we desire. In summary, our Yoruba nation faces a total destruction in Nigeria. We Yoruba have always proudly taken the lead in promotion of Nigeria's development and progress, but we have now resolved in the exit of Nigeria. This is the part 2 of the conversation that AKINTOYE produced, known as the Good News, Path to Prosperity in ORILEEDE Yoruba, put together by Professor ADEBANJI AKINTOYE, the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group, the leader that saw a vision that the Yoruba people should now get the hell out of Nigeria before we get soaked in the blood of what Nigeria is creating at present. Bí a ṣe tí ń gbé ètò yìí wá sí ìsàlẹ̀, mo tún kí gbogbo èèyàn wa. Ọ̀túnlá Tèmítọ́pẹ́ show. Good morning to you. Just reason. The most annoying part is that those who are standing on the fence today would in the future claim that the new Nigeria is not working. Well, maybe I should help you to just balance that conversation, because when Jonathan was in office, he kept his mouth closed while killings was taking place. But he knew the truth, but he never told us the truth. He did not even talk about the confab of 2014. He actually ignored it. Now that he's out of office, after also eating out of the national cake, this is what he had to say, just to buttress what Just Reason have said. Mukiyawa, Power Kalitu, Ajala, Ajibola, and as many of you that have joined us, Babami Adeyemi Olayemi say, may his departed soul of Dr. Malafi Obadia continue to rest in peace. And he went further to say, a good morning. As many of you will be heading out for your day activities, I have started my day activities that would have cost me £33 or thereabout if I was meant to go out and work this morning at a 3 hours cleaning job. An hour in the UK is £11.40. So take a look at it and say, nígbà tó bá ti jókòó tó ti ṣe 3 hours, who pays for that services? This is the reason why we say all the time, your little contribution, your support will keep this platform to still open for the purpose of the self-determination without compromising. You can do all those donations. It is voluntary. It is not a Yoruba money account I'm asking for. This is a contribution as a media personnel to support the Koiki Media platform. The account details on the screen says it is meant for us to be able to use for the work as a media. I am not a blogger, neither am I your vlog. I am a journalist, a media personnel that works hard to contribute my quota to the humanity. You can do so whether it's a First Bank account 3096808848. You can send it through a PayPal, musakalam1@yahoo.com. If you need a Zelle account, reach out to me. And if you also want to send to the UK account 040605 1690622 8 and is a business account KOIKIMEDIA. Is it ethical? Yes, it is. You pay for BBC to operate under the TV license. You also contribute to other media platforms that are also working around the world. So asking for money is not something that is not allowed. It is ethical, and it will remain so as much as we can. We take the next video, and in the next 5 minutes, this program will be brought to an end because we've done 3 hours already.
Thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought 4, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Amadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country.
Well, Tinubu will also complete his tenure, and he will be doing this kind of video that the Nigerian unity is only a British intention. The question is why they are in office. Why are they not pushing for the country to be dissolved, de-amalgamated, without bloodshed? But they are not interested because they are still working for their criminal partners and foreign partners around the globe. Remember that the poverty level in Nigeria is not going anywhere. It will be there until we dissolve the union. We would have a better opportunity away from the contraction Nigeria. You will be able to eat at least 3 square meals when we have an independent Yoruba country that can protect the farmers and many of our businesses across. This is what Professor ADEBANJI AKINTOYE stand for. This is what Igbowo stand for. This is what all the campaigners stand for. And on that note, I say a very good morning and enjoy the rest of the week and the rest of the day. I am Oluwole Koiki, known as KOIKIMEDIA, a proud Yoruba nationalist, a proud Yoruba campaigner, and we are not ending this until our quest will be achieved. How soon is what I don't know, but the awareness will go on. I have been up for the last 4 hours backwards to the time now that is 7:31. It is part of what I should be doing to keep you awake from the mess Nigeria created. 1 year in office of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the lives of millions of Nigerians has not been transformed as many of them thought it would happen in the fraudulent amalgamation known as Nigeria. Tinubu, wake up. Wake up from your slumber. And if you cannot do it, come back home. We will take you back, but come back home away from that contraction as a rock. Yoruba will be free. And on that note, bye for now.